Welcome to Indiana High School football on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola, Culver's Portside Marina, Nepco, Crane and Equipment Services, McGrath Refrigeration, Farm Fertilizers, Web Printing, and JT Shirt Shack, First Farmers Bank and Trust, Kankakee Valley REMC, Lawrence Farms, Mark's Body Shop in Knox, Zingo Express, Osborne Advantage Real Estate, Pulaski Memorial Hospital, Stark County Co-op, Keener Construction, The Auto Park with locations in LaPorte, Plymouth, and Bremen, Sideline Automotive, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Collins Insurance, LAP Waste, Howard's Marathon of Winnemac, and 5 Star. The Coca-Cola pregame show with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan is next.
Takes the snap, he hands off the Brown up the middle, who's going to break away. He's got a lot of room to the 10, the 5, touchdown!
The largest meat and grocery store in the area, focused on quality, value, and customer service. The 5 stars in the name of the store come from 5 family members of the original owners serving in World War II, each one represented by a blue star on a flag hanging in the front window of the family home. That's why even decades later, 5 Star is known for its dedication to service. Now that dedication means savings for you. 5 Star, one of the We Care stores, the area's largest meat and grocery store, focused on quality, value, and customer service. Located, you know where, in the Knox Mall.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort.
He's going to cross the 40 to the 35-30. He's going to get the first down and more. Up the middle. He breaks away. He took it back. Oh, my goodness. Takes the snap. He throws out to the right side to number 12, who catches it. Touchdown.
Welcome to the Coca-Cola pregame show. Now, here are the voices of KVB's WKVI Sports, Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan.
You are listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Tonight, 2 of our area teams clash as the Culver Cavaliers host the West Central Trojans underneath the Friday night lights. This is Indiana High School football. With us tonight, special guest sports analyst Kenny Nielsen. Hey, I'm Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues. This is KVB's WKVI Sports. We welcome you to week 2 of the Indiana High School football season from Culver, Indiana, 46511. We are back for more as we are set to continue the new era of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting Sports on 99.3 FM and around the world, streaming live on WKVI. CulverCavaliersHost.com. Man, as we get ready for our second football broadcast of the season, we have talked with both head coaches of the Culver Cavaliers, Austin Faust and Mark Call of the West Central Trojans, during several practices and on the Saturday Sports Line last week. 2013. That was the last time the Trojans won on the road here in Culver, a drought both head coaches talked about during practice this week. From West Central's stance, they want to end that drought here tonight. From the Cavs' point of view, they don't want to let that happen. We should be in store for a good one, so strap in. When we look at the away team in tonight's football contest, we see the West Central Trojans. Head coach Mark Call is in his 11th season as the Trojans high school football head coach. The Trojans started their season off against their historic cross-county rival, the Winnemac Warriors, on the road last week and provided a hard-fought contest but fell short 24-16. They come into week 2 now against the Culver Cavaliers, hoping to even the season out at 1-1. Looking at stats for the Trojans, they are led by senior quarterback Addison Huber. He threw the ball for 24 yards in week 1 last week. He completed all 7 of his passing attempts and is still awaiting for that first passing touchdown. Right behind him in the rushing department, the Trojans are led by junior running back Dre Villarreal. He rushed 22 times in week 1 for 177 yards. He comes into tonight averaging a very good 8 yards per carry and has 2 rushing touchdowns coming into week 2. In the receiving category, Jaden Miller leads the team in receiving yards with 12 on 4 receptions. That was in week 1 last week. With us tonight, breaking things down and analyzing play on the field, we are honored to have special guest. It's West Central's own Kenny Nielsen. Welcome aboard, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, we've talked with you, of course, about wrestling. You're the head coach of the wrestling team, but you're no stranger to the sport of football.
No, played many years of football, had many kids who went through football. Like I said earlier, but it's been about since 2006 since I've been here for a football game. But football is near and dear to my heart.
Well, we're so excited that Kenny Nielsen is with us tonight, but we turn the page and look at the home team tonight. The Culver Cavaliers, under the direction of Austin Faust for his second year as the head coach. Last week, to start things off, they hosted Attica and came away with an astounding performance, 42-0. After a 1-10 season last year, the Cavs are already showing signs they are taking a big step. We will see what the Cavs have learned since we saw them last season as they come into tonight's matchup at 1-0 on the year. Looking at stats for the Cavs, they are led by junior quarterback Jonas McEwen. He threw the ball for 280 yards in week 1 last week. He completed 14 of his 16 passing attempts while adding 2 touchdowns to start the year off in stunning fashion. Right behind him in the rushing department, the Cavs are led by senior running back Tony Summers. He rushed 14 times in week 1 for 98 yards. He comes into tonight averaging a strong 7 yards per carry and has 2 rushing touchdowns coming into week 2. The Cavs have another running back that put up good numbers last week. Senior Ethan Binion rushed 7 times for 39 yards and had 2 touchdowns on the ground as well. In the receiving category, senior David Height leads the team in receiving yards with 123 on 6 receptions. He had a receiving touchdown as well. Freshman Braylon Jackson had 4 targets complete last week for 69 yards and added a touchdown of his own in his varsity freshman debut. That was all in week 1 as the Cavs put up a shutout against Attica, like I said, 42-0. Kenny, the Cavs had a really tough season last year, but all signs point to a better go-around this year. Your thoughts after hearing the stats they put up last week?
Well, sometimes it's good to start out the season with a team that that you can, kind of run your offense and get your players out there and, I'm sure it was pretty easily handled, and they were able to get their JV kids in what they have. So, that's great for a young team. In 1A schools, it's hard for these teams to field JV teams also. So it's really nice when they have a game like that they're able to get their JV guys on the field.
Talk about the Trojans now coming off that tough loss to Winnemac. They hope to turn things around tonight, I assume.
Oh, yeah, very much so. It was a crazy game to listen to. I listened to that game, and I watched the Judson and Knox game.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it was kind of fun. It was a crazy fourth quarter. It was like playing hot potato out there. Nobody wanted to hold on to the ball, and West Central had their chance in the final seconds. I believe they were on the 15-yard line with the ability to get one play off, and that's all they could get off. And they had an incomplete pass into the end zone. A tough game. they had probably, I'm sure Coach said that he probably wishes they'd had a few less penalties and a few less turnovers. Four turnovers and I believe 10 penalties. That makes it rough to win a tight game.
Well, we are expecting an amazing evening of IHSA, a Week 2 football action, as we appreciate you joining us on the Coca-Cola pregame show. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. The KVB Coaches Corner is next. You are listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
It's time to hear from the coaches in the KVB Coaches Corner. Here's Mitch Columbi.
I'm here with head coach of the West Central Trojans, Mark Hall. Here we are, Coach. Welcome to Culver, Indiana. You mentioned the other day to the kids it had been since 2013 since the Trojans have won here in Culver. What's the message to the boys before leading them out to the field?
Oh, it's just that. We got to end that streak. There's been a few years where I've thought, hey, we've got a really good shot, and then something just goofy happens. Like there was one year, the final score was like 51-47 or something like that. Just a high-scoring affair. Then the last time we were here, we had 6 turnovers, and we had a chance late. It was 12-0. We had a chance late to punch one in, and then we ended up not because we turned the ball over for the 6th time, and then they ran it down for the final score of 18-0. So there's just been some goofy things like that have happened the last couple times we've been here. So I think we're close. It's just, hey, we got to finish. We talked about this afternoon before we got on the bus that last week we had 4 turnovers, 10 penalties. If we can eliminate those things, we're going to be in great shape.
Something I wanted to mention here in the pregame was, we saw the post on social media, and, our thoughts and prayers are with that young man. Talk about him real quick and what you guys are playing for in terms of what he's dealing with.
Yeah, Xavier was a freshman for us last year, came out and played, and was a real good kid. But then last spring, he's like, hey, my ankle just keeps hurting. And so they went in and had him looked at, and they found out that he had the cancer in the bone there. So he's a kid that we'd love to have him out here. He's a good kid. He's got a good sense of humor and works hard, but we've all been praying for him that he's going to have a speedy recovery. And the surgery today, from what I heard from talking with some of the players, they said that it went well. So we hope that he continues to be on the mend.
Message to Trojan Nation here on the road.
Just come out, support us. Hopefully we can push the rain away and we can get this thing out of here and done before the rain comes in, and we can have a good, successful night.
Coach, appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
Culver's Portside Marina handles all water and recreational needs. When it comes to pontoons, Godfrey leads the industry in performance and quality, and Portside Marina has them in stock. From Sanpan, Aqua Patio, Sweetwater, and Monaco pontoons, if you're looking for a family boat, Culver's Portside Marina can help. Discover the evolution of the wake boat through luxury models offered from Centurion and Supreme Surf Boats. Yamaha Wave Runners and Kawasaki Jet Skis are on the showroom floor waiting. Located at 514 West Mill Street in Culver. Stop in or call them at 574-842-5000. Culver's Portside Marina.
I'm here with head coach of the Culver Cavaliers, Austin Faust. Here we are, Coach, another night underneath the Friday night lights. What do you know about West Central coming into this game?
Yeah, obviously they're a good football team. Played a tough game last week against the rival Winnemac. Had their chances, were right there. So they're going to be a tough out. Everybody's obviously they're well coached with Coach Hall. They're going to play option. We got to play disciplined football, and we got to stop their fullback.
Looked at the stats, Coach. Looks like you guys did very well through the air with McEwen. Also, Tony Summers had a great game. Talk about those players in general, but other players you definitely need to step up tonight.
Yeah, I don't think we really have a true guy. We really got to be committee. So we got to have Jonas has got to deliver the ball to guys. We got to have Tony Summers and Ethan Binion and David Height and Caleb McEwen and then Braylon Jackson. We got to get those guys the ball. If we can spread it around and get some explosive plays from them, we feel like we'll be able to put some points on the board.
Message to Cavalier Nation here at home.
Hey, come on out. We got 42 minutes on the clock. Hopefully we can watch this go 2-0, and it's going to be an exciting game tonight.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Hey folks, Auto Park Fort LaPorte has got some news for you. We now have the largest selection of pre-owned vehicles in LaPorte County. So if you're in the market, come and check us out because right now is the best time to trade in your current vehicle. Not interested in purchasing a vehicle? That's okay. We'll buy yours even if you don't buy ours. Not currently in the market, but your car needs serviced? Come check out our newly renovated service department and let them take care of all your service needs. And remember, we're not just an auto dealer, we're an auto park.
This is Mark Hall, head coach of the West Central Trojans. Stay tuned for more Trojan football on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting, WKVI.
One of our hometown businesses here in our area in Monterey, it's LAP Waste.
Being able to recycle is one of our main goals at LAP Waste. Being able to say that we only take about 8% of our trash to the dump is pretty impressive for us, and we hope to keep building on that.
We service an 80-mile circle from Monterey. If you have a small job, big job, or just have a one-time, we are here to make a difference in this area.
And that phone number, Kirby?
574-542-4019.
BP gasoline with Invigorate helps clean your engine and can give you more miles per tank. Continuous use may result in the following pleasant side effects: excessive smiling, feeling more relaxed, taking more drives just because, volunteering for carpool twice in a row, and bragging to your friends about how you use our best fuel ever. To find out if BP gasoline with Invigorate is right for you, stop by your local station to discover our best fuel ever. Versus minimum detergent gas, average restored 3 to 5 miles per tank, based on fleet testing and based on what you drive and how you drive.
High school sports brought to you by Zingo Express.
Time now for the keys to the game. Sponsored by the Auto Park with locations in LaPorte, Plymouth, and Bremen.
All right, as we get set for Week 2 Indiana High School football action, what are your keys to the game as a West Central Trojan, Kenny?
Well, I'm sure Mark Hall, he already said that to them. They have to clean up their game. They need to cut down on the penalties, and they have to make sure they take care of that ball all game.
Flip sides, you're the head coach of the Culver Cavs. What do you want to see on the field?
Well, I'm sure they want to see a tough game tonight. A 42-0 win is great, but you want to get your kids out, get them tested, see where your weaknesses are. So I'm sure he's looking for a tough knockdown, drag-out fight of a game here.
Boy, you're ready to play today, Coach. I love it. That's our keys to the game, sponsored by the Auto Park with locations in LaPorte, Plymouth, and Bremen. Hey, it's time to sit back, pop open an ice-cold Coke and chill. The Coca-Cola pregame show continues. Our LAP Waste starting lineups are next. You're listening to KVB's WKVI.
This is Austin Faust, head coach of the Culver Cavaliers. Stay tuned for more Cavalier football on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting, WKVI.
It takes smart planning by a skilled expert to get you just the right heating, cooling, and energy-efficient system for your home. McGrath Refrigeration can install an affordable Armstrong air system that will cut your energy costs while enhancing your comfort. You'll see the difference in your first energy bill. Give McGrath Refrigeration, your local Armstrong dealer, a call today at 574-772-3575. That's 574-772-3575. McGrath Refrigeration, where the temperature is always just right.
It's time for the LAP Waste starting lineups.
For the Cavaliers of Culver, Indiana, on offense, starting at quarterback, we will see Jonas McEwen. The running back is Ethan Binion. Starting wide receivers are Caleb McEwen, Braylon Jackson, David Hyde, and Tony Summers. In the trenches on the O-line for the Cavs are Logan Caudill and Isaiah Vella at the tackle positions. Robert Evans and Drake Zorich are the guards, and Shane Martin in the middle at the center position. On defense for the Cavs, starting defensive backs are Tony Summers, Jonas McEwen, and David Hyde. Starting linebackers are Caleb McEwen, Ethan Binion, Shane Martin, and Drake Zorich. On the D-line for the Cavs, we will see Logan Caudill, Isaiah Vella, Skylar Greer, and Theron Carrington. On offense for the Trojans of West Central tonight, starting at quarterback, we will see senior Addison Huber. Starting fullback tonight is Dre Villarreal. Starting halfbacks are Caden Gutwine and Jaden Miller. Starting wide receivers are Caleb Kovich and Cameron Newest. Now for the big men up front, Rudy Rodriguez and Nick Penacaro start at the tackle positions. Jonathan Rowe and Blake Indris will be the guards, and Landon Hughes is at the center position. On defense for the Trojans, the free safety will be Nathan Peter. The cornerbacks will be Caden Gutwine and Caleb Kovich. The strong safeties will be Connor Huber and Addison Huber. The linebackers are Jonathan Rowe and Dre Villarreal. On the D-line, getting after it for the Trojans, we will see Landon Hughes and Jaden Miller as the defensive ends. Blake Indris and Rudy Rodriguez are the defensive tackles. That is our LAP Waste starting lineups as we will be back to get set for kickoff. Hey, you are listening to KVB's WKVI.
This is Mark Hall, head coach of the West Central Trojans. Stay tuned for more Trojan football on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting, WKVI.
One of our hometown businesses here in our area in Monterey, it's LAP Waste.
Being able to recycle is one of our main goals at LAP Waste. Being able to say that we only take about 8% of our trash to the dump is pretty impressive for us, and we hope to keep building on that.
We service an 80-mile circle from Monterey. If you have a small job, big job, or just have a one-time, we are here to make a difference in this area.
And that phone number, Kirby?
574-542-4019.
The tradition continues with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
From Culver, Indiana, welcome to Week 2 of the Indiana High School football season between the Culver Cavaliers and the West Central Trojans. I am Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues here on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting as WKVI will always be there. You can stay up to speed on local high school sports in this area by following us on social media. We are on Instagram at WKVI Sports, on X at KVB Sports, and on Facebook at Sports to the Max for all Kankakee Valley Broadcasting sports content. You can listen to us on your phone. Just go to one of our social media sites I mentioned and tap the link on our page. We are literally in the palm of your hand. Well, we are proud to let you know the public address announcer tonight at Cavalier Field is our good friend Shane Lowry. Our scoreboard operator is Scott Johnson. The playcock operator is Eddie Molbash. Our officials for tonight are Philip Lemasters, August Frieda, Ray Otis, Rod Morgan, and Timothy Gruger. With us tonight, we are honored to have special guest Kenny Nielsen on the call, and I am Mitch Columbi, like I said, proud to be doing the play-by-play as we are set for Indiana high school football from beautiful Culver, Indiana. We look around our other area schools. The Winnemac Warriors on the road. They take on Frontier tonight. The Knox Redskins are hosting Pioneer. The South Central Satellites are hosting Boone Grove. And the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays are on the road to take on LaVille. We'll catch up with our sideline reporter Chris McGowan, who is in LaVille, to give us up-to-date reports on that matchup. We heard from head coach Brett Lambert last week. He said this was the game he had circled on his calendar. We wish the Blue Jays good luck tonight. Tonight's kickoff is brought to you in part by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winnemac. We also appreciate them being the sponsor for the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week Award given out each week on the Saturday Sports Line. That's the longest running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter. Kenny Nielsen on the call with me. My gosh, that was a fast pregame, sir.
Woo! I didn't think you were going to get through that. That was kind of amazing. I like we talked off air for a second there that, the clock was running down at 25 minutes, and I'm like, I'm not sure what they're going to be doing for that extra half hour. But
I was a little worried myself. The schedules that we saw on John Harrell, the schedule that I saw earlier on in the season when we put our broadcast schedule together, had this game kicking off at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. I think the Cavs are ready to go home early tonight. They got some things they got to do, so we're going to make this happen tonight. We got the pregame in. All of our sponsors are happy. 10 seconds to go, Kenny. Final few moments here for the Trojans. What do you want to see from your team here?
A clean game, no injuries. Everybody just plays hard and have fun. That's all I want to see.
The Trojans in white jerseys, black trousers. The Cavs, you never know what they're going to wear. They are looking slick tonight. Orange jerseys and black bottoms as we are underway here in Culver, Indiana. It's a flub up the middle. The Trojans almost pick it up. They say they do, and they have it.
Woo! Coming off the bottom of the pile, Johnny Rao, number 50.
So a high arcing kick, didn't really go deep, lands at about the 35. The Cavs touch it, deflects off the shin, and then there's the Trojans to pick it up.
Wow, that was amazing. Johnny was just in the right spot to jump on that and get a hold of that ball.
So where the Trojans were kicking off, they'll get it at the start of the second half. They're going to start this ball game with the ball.
Yes.
My goodness. So here we go on the Cavs' 37-yard line. It's the Trojans in that flex bone up the middle. And it looks like that was carried by number 22, Dre Villarreal. The quarterback we talked a little earlier about, Addison Huber, and the senior stepping up. Of course, he had to fill the reins from the graduating senior last year.
Connor
Marlatt, who did very well for the Trojans, and now Huber steps in. A lot of pressure when you're the starting quarterback.
Well, it is. There's a lot to learn. You know, even when you are the backup guy, you don't get as many reps as the guy who does it. So a lot of pressure here.
So from the 33, up the middle is Villarreal again, and he is inching closer to move those chains. You know, if you're getting 3 and 4 yards per carry, that's going to get the job done.
Hey, by law of averages, if you can get 3 or 4 yards a carry, you'll get a first down in 3 plays. So, but that's not how that always works. So.
3rd and 2.
Okay, so it will be 3rd and 2 here, 3rd and short either way. Ball on the 34 in Cavalier territory. Huber's going to take the snap from shotgun, and now he is going to think twice about it. He had his man in motion. That was number 21, Jaden Miller, the senior. Now they reset. They get the call from Mark Hall on the sideline. We'll talk about how they do play calls here in a moment. I love it. As here's the snap up the middle again, and they may get the first down.
Yeah, enough yards for first down there.
So it will be a first down for the West Central Trojans, a heavy dose of Dre Villarreal.
Well, run him like a running mule, I guess. He runs hard. He's a tough kid. He gets that ball. It takes a lot to get him down. One guy is not going to arm tackle that young man.
So 1st and 10, ball on the Cavs 25, just past the 10-minute mark here in the first quarter. Huber takes the snap, hands off. This is Jaden Miller up the right side. Ooh, nice juke move. He's got space at the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, but there is a flag on the play here.
That's coming back. Got a hold there, yes.
There's a flag on the play.
That's one of those things at West Central. Last week I believe Dre had about 2 runs for about a total of 80 yards that came back on penalties. That's a penalty right there that you just didn't need.
So we'll see what the penalty is in fact, but let's go ahead and check in with our sideline reporter Chris McGowan, who is in LaVille to see the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays. Chris, how are things going in LaVille?
Going well. Right now, both teams are on the field warming up. There's 27 minutes left on the clock. Coach Lambert is in playoff form already. He's really laying into these guys, so looks like it could be interesting tonight.
Yeah, we got Kenny Nielsen on the call. I saw your message. You say he's already sounding like a pro, Chris.
Oh, gee, you're buttering me up.
Yeah, he sounded really good. I was listening to him on my way up here to LaVille, and Coach Nielsen is somebody I have a lot of respect for, especially in the wrestling world. So I know he's a football fan. He's going to enjoy his time there, that's for sure.
Well, we'll check back in with you in a little bit, Chris. We appreciate you catching up with us.
Thank you, Mitch.
All right, that's Chris McGowan, our sideline reporter on location for the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays. The penalty pushes the Trojans back. 1st and 20, ball on the 38 in Cav territory, and it looks like it's a handoff up the left side. Fumble on the play. And we will see if it was a Gutwein on the carry there, Coach.
Caden Gutwein, I believe. Yes, Caden Gutwein.
On the play,
so it was recovered by the Trojans, and it'll bring 2nd and long here. Boy, that penalty really hurt him there.
Oh, yeah. Could have been 6-0, maybe 8-0, but now you're fighting now a 2nd and long, 2nd and 20. Wow, it's going to take a lot to get through this one.
8:50 to go here in the opening quarter. We are scoreless. 2 of our area teams clash here in Culver as Huber takes the snap from shotgun. And he's going to, man, that flex bone is hard to see who they're handing off to. Looks like it was Villarreal again.
Yes.
So Dre Villarreal up the middle, maybe a couple on the carry. He's going to bring up 3rd down here, Coach.
Yeah. Addison does a nice job of hiding that ball where that's going.
So 3rd and 15 is what we're seeing here on the scoreboard. Ball on the Cavs 29. That penalty really helped the Cavs, and now the defense is strengthening up here.
Put a little wind back in their sails. It certainly did.
So from shotgun, the flex bone, Addison Huber takes the snap, rolls out to his right. Here come the Cavs. Fires, and he had his man, but it's incomplete. His intended target was Caden Gutwine, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, 4th down territory. They're going for it.
I was about to say, unless you've got a really good leg, I assume they go for it here.
Yeah, well, we don't kick extra points, so we don't kick field goals. So.
Well, and that's something we've talked about when it comes to 1A schools. You normally see them go for 2, smaller school sizes. It's hard to find a kicker these days. They're not just everywhere to pick up off the shelf, so to speak.
No, that talent is hard to find.
So they are going for it, 4th and long on the Cavs 29. Things are moving along here fast in week 2. Oh my gosh, they're punting. And it will bounce in the end zone, it looks like. So threw us both for a loop there, Coach. They punted.
When I saw him come back, I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, they are going to punt that. I kind of wish he'd angled for the sideline to try to give him a little more territory on that, but hey, that's high school football for you there.
So this will spot the ball at the 20-yard line, and that's where the Cavs will start with the ball here in the first quarter. They would have had the ball first. An interesting kickoff scenario from the Trojans. Gave them the ball first. They weren't able to capitalize on that, so here come the Cavs. It's Jonas McEwen from shotgun. Set to go. Takes the snap. Toss out. That looks like it's Tony Summers. Little stutter step at the 24, and he's wrapped up immediately. It looks like that was number 21 for the Trojans. Jaden Miller on the tackle. Seniors are showing up strong here early on for the Trojans.
Yes, they are. Cornerback did his job nicely, kept him contained to let the guys come from the backside and get that tackle there.
So a 5-yard gain there from Tony Summers. We talked about it in the pregame. Had a heck of a game last week, Tony Summers. He's turned into quite the athlete here for the Cavs. As here's 2nd and 5, ball on their own 25. McEwen hands off, fumble on the field. The Trojans pick it up, and they do. Oh, man.
Wow.
Slip through the hands. And you almost wonder if the humidity may be an issue out there on the field. It's 90 degrees, very humid here today.
Oh, yeah. It's hard to hold on to that ball when your hands are sweating, the ball's slick. So, yeah, that was very – I'm just kind of surprised he just dropped that right out of there.
So the Trojans will take over deep in Cavalier territory. They're starting off better than they had the ball a few moments ago on the 22-yard line, 1st and 10. And Addison Huber is hoping to make something happen for the Trojans. He sets his man in motion, toss out the number 8. It's Caden Gutwine up the left side, wrapped up and tackled at the 21, maybe the 20-yard line. A couple of yards on the carry there.
That was a nice little run, The old saying is you want to get a little more north and south instead of east and west. He just didn't have the room around that end to get her cut and turned around.
Yeah, he tried to get around the edge. Now, one thing I wanted to talk with you about is there's a lot of wrestlers out there, Coach.
Oh, there is. I believe there's probably 8 of them out there, maybe 2 or 3 that I would like to still snag yet. So, yeah, there's a lot of my kids out there tonight.
So it looks like there may be a holding here on the Trojans. And it will be declined by the Cavs. Interesting scenario here. So this will push them back. So the Cavs will accept the penalty and not decline. It does push the ball back to the 27-yard line in Cav territory. It'll be second or first down again. Yeah, 1st and 15 here.
So 1st and 15, yes.
So the Trojans look to the sideline as the Cavs are set to go defensively. They look to head coach Mark Hall. He relays the play off of what he's seeing defensively from the Cavs. Huber set to go, takes the snap, pulls the handoff himself up the left side, breaks a tackle, spins around, and he's finally brought down at about the 23, 24-yard line. He took a huge hit there.
Oh, yes, he did.
Theron Carrington.
That was a nice run, but, boy, that was a nice hit.
Yeah, speaking of Theron Carrington, he is hearing impaired. And what is so interesting about the Cavs is I've noticed from the last several years of going to practice is his mother is actually the interpreter. she does sign language for him on the sideline during practice and the game, so he knows what the coach is saying. I just think that's so amazing.
Yes, that is, yes.
So they're spotting the ball at what looks like the 23-yard line in Cab territory. We're having a little bit of a conference here with the officials. I think they've got it figured out now. It'll be 2nd and 13. Coming up on 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. My goodness, we are flying by. First time we're seeing Addison Huber tonight, and he's quite athletic, 5'11". 160 pounds as he takes the snap. Handoff up the middle, and they snuffed it out. The Cavs did. It was a run up the gut by Villarreal. Not much going.
They're doing a good job of clogging up the middle. For Dre's not really finding the room to run that he's had in the past.
So this will bring up another 3rd down deep in Cavalier territory. Let's talk about this Cavs defense. They are hanging tough right now, deep in their own territory for the majority of this first quarter.
Well, we've played about almost the entire game and within about 20 yards. So, but yeah, the further they get to their back against the wall, the better they're playing.
Handoff up the right side. It's number 21, Jaden Miller, takes a huge hit, lowered his shoulder. Not much gained, and it'll bring up 4th down here for the Trojans. The Cavs look well prepared so far and what they were planning to see from West Central.
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Mark Hall, like we talked about earlier, usually likes to go for it, especially when they're in 4-down territory deep in the opposing team's side of the field. So Addison Huber is from shotgun, the flex bone. Sets his man in motion. That's Jaden Miller. Now he's going to reset. I think they're going to try to get the Cavs offside, and no, the Trojans call timeout. It didn't work. They tried.
Yeah, it was a good try, but that's a good idea. Take timeout quick and regroup here.
Well, we want to take this time to thank our sponsors, as tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Nepco Crane and Equipment Services, specializing in mobile crane service. Call Joe Nepp at 1-800-590-2272 for all your residential, commercial, and agricultural crane needs. Keener Construction is proud to be a Knox Redskin alum. They are excited to witness the Redskins take the field each week this season. Call Chad Keene at Keener Construction today for all your construction needs at 574-806-1387. Finally, Osborne Advantage Real Estate is a proud sponsor of local high school sports and would love the opportunity to make you feel right at home in Stark County. Call them today at 574-896-2567. Out of the timeout here, 4th and long. Man, it's kind of that territory. You're not sure. You almost want to go for it, but you're not really sure if it's the good time. Either way, if they turn the ball over, the Cavs are deep in their own territory.
Exactly. They're going to be at their 20-yard line. Let's hope we can at least get a few yards down the field, get them back a little further, but they're definitely going to go for it this time.
So they are going for it. 4th down. Huber rolls out to his left, looking to throw. He gets rid of it deep down the left field sideline, and it almost is intercepted, but it's incomplete. And there's a flag on the play now.
Looks like they're going to call a hold back there, but obviously they're going to decline that.
Wow. So the Cavs will take over on downs. The defense held strong a second time here in the first quarter.
Whoa. You know, that's probably been one of the biggest things for the West Central team is they get down, to the red zone or close to it, and they have a hard time finishing from there. I was hoping to see a little different out of this. They did run the ball in, but a hold brought that back. So, that's going to probably proved to be a very costly mistake for the Trojans.
Well, luckily, they're not giving up too much. The Cavs have a long way to go as they start this drive on their own 21-yard line. So the Trojans are still in good shape here, scoreless with 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Jonas McEwen for the Cavs takes the snap from shotgun, hands off to Summers up the middle, and he got a good little run there.
Yeah, it should be close to 5 yards on that carry right there.
Cavs move the ball to their own.
So the Cavs trying to make something happen on their second offensive turn. Of course, the last time they had it a few moments ago was a fumble recovered by the Trojans. we kind of had a feeling these two teams coming together were going to provide a really good game tonight. I have a feeling it's going to be true.
Yes, it's a very good game so far.
So Jonas McEwen, twins out to the left. He sets his man in motion, takes a snap, and looks like flags on the play. A little pitch to number 5, David Height, the senior. But that play is called dead. What'd you see?
2 guys moving, so procedural penalty there.
So it will push the Cavs back to about the 20 and a half yard line.
Yeah.
So it'll be second down here.
Close to 10 yards.
Yeah, 2nd and 10. Ball on the 21-yard line for the Cavs. McEwen from shotgun. Spread formation. Takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw, fires off to the left sideline. His intended target. It looks like that was number 5, David Hyde, incomplete. He threw it a little too far ahead of him.
Yes, sir. Yes. He was open enough to get that in there, but he just a little bit ahead of him, too far ahead of him. Nice play, but just didn't connect.
For the Cavaliers.
So this brings up 3rd down for the Cavs. Both teams' defenses are very strong right now. Both teams' offenses are having a hard time.
Yeah, both offenses are struggling, and this has definitely been a defensive game so far.
This is the kind of game Chris McGowan loves. Loves those defensive knockdown, drag-out battles as we've got a timeout from the Cavaliers. So both teams burn a timeout here in the first quarter. 2 left for them here in this first half as Sideline Automotive is a hometown proud auto care shop. Recently voted Stark County's best for tires and oil changes. Call Joe today at 574-249-5537. We do remind you every morning to join Rich Wallen on the WKVI Morning Show Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 12 p.m. Central. Catch local news as well for our area with Kankakee Valley Broadcasting News Director Anita Gooden, who covers news on WYMR and WKVI. You can catch our stories on WKVI.com and Max93.net to stay up to speed in your local area. I can't keep up with time, Coach. It's just flowing by. We started earlier than we had anticipated, and here we are with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. We're going to get out of here for dinner.
I know. It might be daylight yet by the time we get out of here, the way this is going.
Well, they had kind of talked about lightning, thunderstorms being in the area, but as of right now, clear skies, late 80s, it was pushing 90 degrees at the start of this game, but I kind of feel a little bit of a breeze coming through. We're cooling down.
Yes.
So here we go, back at action. The Cavs have it 3rd and 10 on their own 21-yard line. McEwen all alone in the backfield, set Summers in motion, toss up to David Height now up the right side, and he gains maybe 2-3 yards before he's brought down by a plethora of Trojans. Number 50 is who I saw, Jonathan Rowe, the senior, one of them being.
Yeah, and also Connor Huber. Connor Huber he's a freshman. Last game was his first varsity game. I believe he had 5 tackles, maybe a fumble recover, maybe even an interception. But it's just crazy. His younger brother
of Addison.
Yes, he had a really good game last week.
So it'll bring up 4th down, and we assume the Cavs will punt. It looks like doing the punting duties for the Cavs, Ethan Binion. High arcing punt. It doesn't go very deep. It bounces at the 39, and the Cavs will touch it at the 37. So the Trojans are being given a lot of opportunities here to make something happen.
Oh, my goodness, yes. That kind of scared me there for a second. That was a high punt, and our guys didn't see it, and they were not getting out of the way like they should. Made me nervous there for just a second.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Ball on the Cavs 38. The football has not left Cavalier territory yet in this quarter. It's been quite an interesting moment here. We'll check in with Chris McGowan in a little bit. Their game is scheduled to start here in the next 10 minutes or so. So stay tuned, Blue Jay Nation, if you want to hear a score update from Chris McGowan, who's roaming the sidelines in LaVille. Don't ask me how I got that done. Looks like we have whistles on the field. And head coach Austin Faust is wanting, they're saying reset the clock to 2:25. So 15 seconds there was clocked off somewhere along the lines. The officials want to add more time to the scoreboard. like we were talking about, it is rolling along here.
Yeah, we're moving right
Everyone's
along.
ready to get this thing rolling. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Trojans in Cavalier territory. The flex bone, Addison Huber, set to go. His man in motion, fakes the toss out, now rolls out to his right. Here comes some Cavs. He's going to tuck and run up to the 35, now to the 32, and he's tackled by number 80. That's Caleb McEwen, the junior. So a few yards there gained there by Huber. A good job by deciding to tuck and run.
Oh, definitely so. He read that very well. He saw that the defense wasn't coming up and covering him well, so he just kept that ball tucked in and got probably 4, maybe 5, probably closer to 7 yards on that one carry.
So it'll be 2nd and 3rd. 2nd and 3.
2nd and 3rd.
We're working.
Yeah.
Huber set to go again, takes the snap up the middle. Villarreal breaks the tackle to the 25, to the 20. It took 2 Cavs to bring him down. McEwen, one of them, also Tony Summers, number 46. But he's going to get the first down for the Trojans. Signs of life now for him.
That was a nice run, very nice run. Little misdirection there, had the Cavaliers headed the other way, and he came back across, got a nice cut back, and got a nice run there.
So fresh set of downs for the Trojans. Ball on the Cavs' 19-yard line. They're knocking on the door in the red zone. 0-0 with 1:15 to go here in the first quarter. Villarreal up the middle, breaks the 15 to the 12, and he's brought down again by Caleb McEwen. He's all over the place.
Well, he's got a nose for the ball. It's obvious. He's on that tackle. I mean, that's at least 4 tackles that he's had. I mean, he's doing a great job. Wow.
And it looks like there is a Cavalier injured on the field. We sure hope it's just a cramp. That was kind of a running theme last week we'd heard in the game at Winnemac from our sideline reporter Justin Ruff. It was also apparent in our game in North Judson. Cramps were an issue, and especially with the humidity, the heat. Coaches were talking about all week about getting the water, getting the potassium, trying to make sure that these cramps don't happen because it can be very painful.
Oh, definitely so. It's the kind of thing that, you don't take care of you're going to get cramps on Friday night. You don't start on Friday morning. You start early in the week, start eating your bananas, get some Gatorade in you, and a lot of water. Build back up because, they lose so much every day at practice that, they need to replenish. So, there's a few key things that you can do, just, a few days out, really supercharge your water. That way, you're coming in fully hydrated. So, but, bananas. We many years ago, we had a kid on a football team when I was a senior. His name was Banana Dan because he always cramped up, so he knew he had to eat his banana. So, his nickname was Banana Dan.
Banana Dan. Oh, man. Well, he is getting tended to, it looks like, at the 15-yard line, as we will take this opportunity to thank First Farmers Bank and Trust. They're providing state-of-the-art banking with old-fashioned service. We thank them for supporting local high school sports and helping continue the tradition on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Today's game is also brought to you in part by Howard's Marathon of Winnemac, serving Pulaski County for 44 years. Call 574-946-6894 and ask for Howard or Dean. We certainly thank them for supporting local high school sports. Not sure who is down on the field. It's been hard to see the number.
Right.
He is a bigger individual, I would assume, probably on that defensive line. Well, he's looking like he's getting up now. It is number 55 for the Cavs, Isaiah Vela, the junior. Man, you can't have him go down. We certainly hope he's able to get back into the game. He's hobbling off under his own power. That's a good sign.
That's a great sign, Ron. When they can go off under their own wheels, that's good. He'll get stretched out. He'll be back.
Gingerly getting off to the sideline. They've replaced him. And it looks like it will be back in action. 1:07 to go here in the first quarter. Scoreless, 2nd and 2. Ball on the Cavs 11. Trying to get a touchdown are the Trojans. Oh, fumble on the play. Bad snap, handoff. It looks like the Trojans will save it, though, luckily for them.
Wow, yeah.
It's going to bring up 3rd and short here with the clock under a minute rolling along.
Yeah, somebody wasn't in the right place. Quarterback turned into the runner and the ball came loose, so they were just lucky that they were able to cover that up. Because there was a host of horns right around that ball when it hit the ground.
30 seconds and counting here in the opening quarter. 3rd and 4 for the Trojans. Huber takes the snap, hands off up the middle. Villarreal trying to get the first down, wrapped up by a couple of Cavs. I don't know if he got it. Even if he didn't, just like you said, Coach, they're going to go for it, most likely being in 4th down territory.
Yeah, this is going to be a long one, or short 2 to go on this one.
The clock is stopped at 7.1 seconds here to go in the first as the officials are having a conversation with each other. And this is kind of something we talked about last week. You know, it is early on in the season for the officials as well. They've got to dust the cobwebs off and get back into the swing of things too.
Oh, definitely. But what I like to see is that they are taking that time, stopping and making sure they're getting these calls right.
So 4th down for the Trojans. And I think they're just going to let the clock run out as that will be the end of the first quarter. Ball spotted on the Cavs 12. It's 4th and 4. When we come back, the Trojans are knocking on the door, hoping to make something happen and put points on the board. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
On the way home from the game, a deer jumps in front of your truck. And now you've got to get that truck repaired. Make it easy on yourself. Take it to Mark's Body Shop. Mark's has done expert auto body service since 1998 and will work with you and your insurance provider for collision repair, custom body paint, and insurance work. And all work guaranteed by owner Mark Schell. Mark's Body Shop, proud to support high school sports. 772-7003.
This is Mark Hall, head coach of the West Central Trojans. Stay tuned for more Trojan football on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting, WKVI.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for day and night. That's why we build financial solutions around the needs and schedules of our ag clients. I'm Isaac Blue, ag banker at Knox, North Judson, and Culver. If you're looking for a financial partner that has over 135 years experience in understanding and supporting agriculture, I'd like to hear from you. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Back in Culver, Indiana, Mitch Columbia along with Kenny Nielsen. Second quarter action coming your way as the Culver Cavaliers host the West Central Trojans. The Trojans are knocking on the door. 4th and 1. Ball on the Cavs 10, and we've got flags already.
Oh, that was not where you wanted that penalty like that. Offsides, man. That.
So, yeah, this will push the Trojans back again. It's kind of been that kind of night for both teams. Not just the Trojans, the Cavs as well. Man, so this will push them back to where they're spotting it on the 15-yard line. 4th and 6 now for the Trojans. They're getting the call from the sideline. Head coach Mark Hall sees the play the Cavs are bringing on defense, and now he is set to go. Addison Huber in the flex bone. Dre Villarreal behind him. Jaden Miller, a part of this as well. He has been set in motion. Takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw. Huber finds his man deep down the right sideline, and it's incomplete. Now a flag on the play again.
Oh, wow. It's going to be pass interference.
So they are going to call pass interference here on the Cavaliers. This will bring the Trojans back forward. And I believe it's not at the spot of the penalty. It's the new rule now. It's just 15 yards forward, which will give the Trojans the first down.
Yep.
So now the ball will be spotted just inside the 10. Yeah, 1st and goal here. So this is exactly what the Trojans needed now.
Hey, that was big for them.
This might be the best opportunity they've had all game long, and they've been in Cavalier territory the whole game up to this point. So here's Addison Huber set to go. Villarreal behind him. He sets his man in motion, takes the snap, hands off. Miller up the right side, spins around, breaks a tackle inside, and he gets the touchdown. Touchdown, Trojans.
Nice play there.
Jaden Miller, the senior, makes it happen 6-0. Trojans take the lead.
That was a nice little misdirection. Villarreal went one way and Jaden went the other. They were keying on Dre, and he just snuck right through the line for a nice touchdown run.
Almost like the Trojans kind of knew the Cavs were going to keep their eye on Dre Villarreal.
Yes.
And they used the senior Jaden Miller to make it happen. Good for him. He spun out of that tackle. The Cavs almost had him with inside the 5. If he didn't spin out of that, they might have been able to stop him. But here we go. Going for 2 are the Trojans. Huber up the middle to Villarreal. Breaks a tackle, still on his feet, trying to get the 2-point conversion. And it is no good.
Did not make it.
So it keeps it 6-0. The West Central Trojans lead the Culver Cavaliers. And you see the coaching staff from Culver, they're very happy with that stop. You know, now if they're able to tie this thing up, they can take the lead with an extra kick or go for 2 themselves.
Yes.
Not to mention that the Trojans get the ball back to start the third, and they've scored first.
Well, 6-0, that's great. I would like to have seen the touchdown that came earlier count, but that's not how that works. But that was a great job of West Central getting the ball down. Just a little bit of smash base, football. We're going to run the ball, but they threw in one pass in there right at the goal line. They put them in a great position so that they could get that score.
I wanted to share this with you as well. I talked with Harold Welter earlier today. He wanted to make sure I told you. He said hello. He also just texted me. He said, tell your partner that I've always said he talks a good game.
Oh, well, Harold, thank you. Harold was great to me over the years, just as you are. I always enjoy making a quick trip up to Knox at least once a year.
I like how you said quick.
Yeah.
You make the most of it.
It's a bit of a ride. It's okay.
Well, your drive today was a little bit longer. You come from Francisville all the way to Culver. Did you follow the bus?
No, I did not. No.
Well,
but I actually live in Madeiraville, but I had to run to Francis real quick to get some stuff, and then I made the trip up. But it was a 40-minute ride. It's not bad.
Well, I also wanted to bring up your assistant head coach of the wrestling team. You kind of told me last year you're kind of hoping he's going to be the next generation coach underneath. You're kind of training him for the next step. But I hope that's not anytime soon, Coach. You aren't trying to hang it up anytime soon now, are you?
We'll talk more about that later.
So the Trojans are set to kick this one away, and it will be picked up at the 28 by Tony Summers. Stutter steps to the 40, crosses the 45, still on his feet to the 48, and a nice return by Tony Summers there. And that's where the Cavs will take over on their own 48-49 yard line.
Hey, Tony Summers did a great job with that. He kind of muffed the catch just a little bit, but once he got that ball corralled up and then got running, he did a great job there.
First and 10, Cavaliers.
First and 10 for the Cavs. Ball spotted on the 49-yard line, and we will see Jonas McEwen, who had a heck of a game last week. A lot of yards through the air as he's a junior already. I can't believe it. Remember when he was a freshman. As he's going to take this from shotgun. Trips to the left. Up the middle is Tony Summers to the 47. Almost poked it out of there, didn't they?
Yeah, that was close.
Tackled by Connor Huber.
So, yeah, we look at the stats from last week. Jonas McEwen, like I said in the Coca-Cola pregame show, 280 yards through the air. He was 14 of 16 for his passing attempts, had 2 touchdowns through the air. This McEwen kid is something special, and his twin brother, Caleb McEwen, a wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a McEwen to McEwen connection tonight. As here's the spread formation, McEwen from shotgun takes a snap, steps back, looks to throw, fires deep down the left sideline. He's got Tony Summers, and it's incomplete. And it was not Summers. It was incomplete to Braylon Jackson, the freshman we talked about a little earlier.
Yes. If he's just a half a step further into that, that would have been gone. That was a nice pass. He was just a half a step behind on that.
So close.
He's got quite the arm.
Yes, he does.
How many yards did you say he had?
280, 14 for 16, and 2 touchdowns through the air last week.
Wow.
McEwen's legit. So here we go, 3rd and 3 for the Cavs. Spread formation again from shotgun. McEwen takes the snap up the middle. It's number 42 for the Cavs. That was Ethan Binion, and I believe it's enough for the first down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be
kind of. They're calling a first down.
One official says first down. The other two want to have a conference to make sure. The chain gang was kind of hesitant as well.
Yeah.
And they're going to measure this because it would bring, I believe, a 4th down if they don't get this first. They are calling it a first down. After the conference, they decide it is a first down. So the Cavs move the chains. Ball spotted on the Trojans' 42. These last couple of plays are the first time the ball has been in the Trojans' side of the field.
Yes, this is their first down in Trojan territory, yes.
So from the Trojans' 41, Jonas McEwen will take this from shotgun. Takes the snap, hands off Binion, up the middle.
Nice hit.
And he will get 4 to 5 yards easily there. A nice little play.
Yes. Looked like the Trojans were having a couple issues figuring out where they wanted to be lined up on that play, but finally they got set. Looked like Johnny Rao picked up the tackle on that. Nice hit from Johnny.
So it'll bring up 2nd down, 2nd and 5. Under 10 minutes to go here in the first half. Flying by here in Culver. McEwen from shotgun. Takes the snap. Fakes the handoff to Binion. Up the middle himself to about the 34. Another couple of yards.
Wow. That was a nice play. It looked like Connor Huber and I think it was Johnny Rao on that tackle. You know, linebackers are getting a lot of tackles, which your middle linebackers should be the guys who get the most of the tackles out there.
3rd and 3 for the Cavs. Trying to answer the Trojans' score on their last possession. 9:11 to go in the first half. McEwen from shotgun. Takes the snap, hands off, up the middle.
Oh, nice hit.
And he will not get the first down. It is just shy. No, they are saying it is enough for the first down. So another first down for the Cavs. They're stringing together some good plays here.
Connor Huber had a real nice. He didn't really get the tackle. He got the guy slowed up. Dre came around and got him tackled. But what a nice run for Culver to get a first down on the 31.
Yeah, I'm definitely seeing Summers out to the right here, trips to the left. And McEwen from shotgun, 1st and 10. Ball on the Trojans' 31. Steps back, looks to throw. Fakes the throw. Now he's going to tuck and run himself, and he's wrapped up by several Trojans. One of them being number 52 for the West Central Trojans. That was Landon Hughes, one of the 3 there on the play.
Yeah, and Blake Andrus was in on that tackle also.
Bring up a 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd and 12. They lost 2 yards there. Probably a good idea by McEwen not to let that one go.
Yeah, coverage was very, he didn't have any place to get that ball dumped off too quick. Coverage was pretty good by the Trojans there.
2nd down. McEwen from shotgun again. Twins to the right. Takes the snap. Steps back. Hands off to Binion. Then he hands off to, I believe that may have been David Height. Yes.
Yep, it was Height.
So Height, not much going there. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
That's a 3rd long. 3rd and 13, 3rd and 12.
3rd and 13 for the Cavaliers.
Cavs having similar issues the Trojans had when they got in deep in the other team's territory. The Cavs are trying to make things happen, but now here's 3rd and long. McEwen from shotgun. He draws the Trojans off sides.
On the play.
Well, that'll shorten up the field for him. Be 3rd and 7 now.
So they'll move the ball forward. 3rd and 7, as Coach just said. It'll be spotted at the 27, 28-yard line in Trojan territory. This helps the Cavs. Let's see if they can capitalize on this here, as they will trot up to the line. McEwen from shotgun, as he has been taking the snaps most of tonight. It looks like that's Ethan Binion to his right. Takes a snap, steps back, looks to throw, fires down the middle, wide open. It's David Height for the touchdown. Touchdown, Culver.
Well, that was a nice pass.
And that'll tie things up 6-6, and that livens up Cavalier Nation a little bit. So we will see if they go for the extra point or the 2-point conversion. I believe they might be going for the 2-point conversion.
Looks like
here,
they're going for 2.
So just like the Trojans, the Cavs are going to do the same and go for 2. McEwen with Binion to his right, Twins to the right. Sommers out to the left, takes the snap, rolls out to his right. McEwen's trying to make something happen. Shuffle pass forward to Caleb McEwen, and they get the 2-point conversion. Woo! 8-6, the Cavs take the lead.
2-point conversion at the 7-minute, 9-second mark.
That was a nice play. He let that mature. He took his time on that, just waited for his brother to get open and just did a quick little shovel pass to him. That was a very nice play.
That might be the first shuffle pass call I've seen. I have not seen that play in the 3 years we've been doing that. I've been waiting to call that.
Yeah.
McEwen to McEwen connection.
Yes.
What did I tell you?
Yeah.
So 8-6, the Cavs take the lead. And there's still a lot of time in this ball game. If there's any indication off those 2 scores right there, I have a feeling we're in for a good one tonight.
Oh, this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight.
Well, we remind you tonight's game is sponsored in part by McGrath Refrigeration, a family-owned business since 1967, and your local Armstrong Air Dealer. Call them for all your heating and cooling needs at 574-772-3575. McGrath Refrigeration, where the temperature is always just right. We also thank Farm Fertilizer for sponsoring tonight's broadcast. Call them at 574-867-2441. That's Farm Fertilizer, helping to move the bar on yield and crop investment returns. Mitch Columbia, along with special guest sports analyst Kenny Nielsen. What, do you like this? You having fun?
I'm having a blast. I love doing this kind of stuff. You know, this is the first time I've ever been on calling a game.
It doesn't sound like it.
Oh, well, thank you. I was very excited about it last night, and then I kind of laid down to go to sleep, and I was like, boy, now I'm a little nervous. So I knew this morning I needed to do my homework, you know, get a few stats from both the coaches and stuff. But hey, I love doing this. I love watching football, and this is a great game so far.
Well, now you know the one bad thing about doing is we can't eat.
I know.
We don't get. They got Papa's Pizza up here in the booth, as the Cavs will kick this one deep, and it'll roll into the end zone. The Trojans let it happen. They'll take it at their own 20. But yeah, that's the one bad thing about doing this job. I just want to grab a slice so bad, Coach. I can't do it.
Well, I thought we had a half hour at the beginning, but
hey, it's year 3. I'm still young. It's still a little green on the ears.
Yeah. Still a little wet behind the ears, as the old guys would say.
I thought for some reason, well, we'll be on time. We'll be on time. Oh, my gosh, we've got 25 minutes. Let's see if we can get this pregame in. I appreciate your professionalism. We made it happen, as we may have a score update from Chris McGowan shortly. Stand by for that. But back in our game, the Trojans are deep in their own territory. Looks like this is Huber, the flex bone from shotgun. Takes the snap, fakes the handoff, keeps it himself up the right side. And he gets maybe a yard, if that. I don't know. The Cavs read it pretty well.
Yeah, that was a lot of work for a little yardage there. If he did get 1 yard out of that. Depends on that spot. Made it back to the line of scrimmage.
So it will be 2nd and 10. Ball on their own 20-yard line. And like we had mentioned, both teams' defenses are playing very good here in this game tonight. They get the call from head coach Mark Call, and now they are set to go. Huber sets Miller in motion, flags fly, and we will see what the penalty is on here. As we'll go ahead and take this moment to catch up with our sideline reporter Chris McGowan on location for the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays in LaVille. What's going on, Chris?
North won the toss, elected to receive, took the ball 68 yards. Play drive took 6 minutes, 45 seconds. Cole Wilcox punched it in from 22 yards out. The 2-point conversion was good. North Judson with 5:15 left.
Wow. Up 8-0 in the first quarter. We appreciate our sideline reporter, Chris McGowan, as we are back in our game now. A carry up the middle off the penalty. Did you catch what the penalty exactly was there?
Another procedural penalty. Somebody moved that they shouldn't have been moving. I don't know if two backs moved or what happened. Couldn't see that from our angle. Dre just had a really nice run, probably 10, 11 yards to take it to the 3rd and 4 now.
So, yeah, 3rd down now for the Trojans in our game. We'll talk about the Blue Jays here in a moment. But from shotgun, it's Huber taking the snap, hands off up the right side. It's Dre Villarreal breaking the 35 to the 40.
Villarreal on the carry.
And he will be brought down at the 44, maybe the 43-yard line. That's a big-time run.
That was a big run right there.
Man, he does not play like a junior. That looked like a senior running 6'1", 195 pounds coming at you.
Hey, he's not an easy young man to tackle. You know, that 195 pounds coming at you takes a little bit of work to get that boy down.
So 1st and 10 for the Trojans on their own 44. Sets Miller in motion, takes the snap, pulls the handoff himself. Now Huber's going to make it himself. Across the 45 to the 48.
Flag.
Yep, and there is a flag on the play.
This is going to be a hold, yes. You know, another good run that's going to come back and going to go back even a little further.
Holding on the Trojans. That will back the Trojans up to their own 33-yard line.
Wow.
1st and 20.
So, yeah, we're still trying to gather our thoughts here. It'll push them back. 1st and 20 on their own 33, and now they're set to go. It's Addison Huber from shotgun. Sets Miller in motion, takes the snap, hands off to Villarreal, up the middle, and the Cavs wrap him up at the 37.
By a host of Cavaliers.
Yeah, maybe 4 yards on that one.
Last off the pile is Zorich. Bring up a 2nd down play.
So, yeah, 2nd down and long here, only 3 yards gained. It's kind of like what we were talking about on the Saturday Sports Line last week. Penalties this early in the season. You just got to dust yourselves off, get ready for the new season. But as time goes on, the coaches don't want to see this. As here is Huber from shotgun and a big hit.
There.
Nothing snuffed out. The Cavs are reading the offense well from the Trojans.
I would like to say that young man who got that tackle, Anthony Samey, Anthony Samey, I'm butchering that name. He had a really nice tackle there. He came through the line and smelled that ball right out.
Yeah, Anthony Sammy, it looks like. $70.
That's okay. You got on the radio.
So from shotgun, it's Addison Huber taking the snap, handing off up the middle. Maybe 3 to 4 yards. It'll bring up 4th down here for the Trojans. I assume they're going to have to punt.
They're going to have to punt this one away. This is definitely not 4th down territory. They need a good punt, a good clean punt, and get good coverage down the field.
Only trailing by 2 are the Trojans. They get the ball to start the 3rd quarter, so they're still in a very good situation here with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Now, if you're the Cavs, I assume you want to try to punch some points on the board here before the end of the first half.
Hey, they want to get on. They want to put another score on the board, go in feeling a whole lot better about everything.
Here we go. Snap, hold, punt, kind of blocked. It looks like it's going to bounce at the 45, and the Cavs will pick it up there. So it'll be 1st down and I'm not sure if he could have kept running when he picked it up or what they called the play dead there. That was an interesting scenario.
Did they block it or did it go off of the back
That's what
of
I
one
was
of the
wondering.
offensive players there?
The officials call the play dead, and they spot the ball at the Trojans' 45-yard line. That's where the Cavs will take over. Remember, they had that amazing passing touchdown to David Height on their last drive. Then they get the 2-point conversion, the shuffle pass from McEwen to McEwen. 8-6 the score, and the Cavs are hoping to put more points on the board with 2:39 here to go in the first half. McEwen from shotgun. Twins to the left. Sets David Height in motion. Now he pitches to Height. Up the left side. Crosses the 40 to the 35. Now the 20. Now the 15. And he's finally brought down at about the 15-yard line.
Oh, there's a flag back at the 40.
There is a flag back at the 40. Coach, you just saw that. This might be coming back for the Cavs. Yep. And they are marching the ball back now.
Oh, another hold. Wow.
Holding on the Cavaliers.
Typically when they get that far out there, it's either a block in the back or it's in hold. That's about the only two calls that you're going to get out there.
Well, and he got a lot of space around that edge up the left sideline. So this will back the Cavs up to their own territory at the 49-yard line. My goodness.
Less than 2.5 minutes left to go.
The ball spotted inside Cavalier territory.
Looks like a few raindrops coming down now.
Yeah, you start to see the umbrellas coming out here. No lightning as we play on here from Culver. McEwen from shotgun. 1st and 15, takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw, rolls out to his right. Here come the Trojans. He's going to have to get rid of it. He does. He finds number 7. That is Braylon Jackson, and he's tackled at the 41-yard line. So he paused and hesitated long enough to give Jackson enough time.
That was a nice pass. Jackson just kept moving with him just to get and got a step ahead of his defender just to give him just enough room to get that pass in there.
7.
So 2nd and 7, ball spotted on the Trojans' 41-yard line, under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Stay tuned for the Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning halftime show. Myself and Coach Nielsen will break this first half down. We've seen a defensive battle, that is for sure. As McEwen takes the snap, hands off up the middle, spinning around, and finally brought down at the 38-yard line. That's Ethan Binion. And we remember his name the last several years. He's been a workhorse for these Cavs.
Yeah, he's that was a nice run right there. Shortened up the field for him. It's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4.
And 4.
Yeah,
under a minute.
We're close to it.
Just about down to a minute.
So spread formation from the Cavs. They're not giving up yet on this first half. It's McEwen taking the snap. Oh my
nice
goodness.
Run.
Big
Nice
hole for Ethan Binion, and he got tripped up at the 32. If he breaks that tackle, he may have been gone.
Yep. That was a nice play. The Cavalier line put a hole in on that side that you could have driven a Mack truck through.
Timeout. Cavaliers.
So the Cavs will burn their 2nd of 3 here in the first half on timeouts. As Mark's Body Shop in Knox is proud to be part of the broadcast this evening. If you ever need collision repair, contact Mark at 574-772-7003. Culver's Portside Marina is part of the broadcast. They can make sure your boat is ready for the winter. If you need help storing or winterizing your watercraft, contact Culver's Portside Marina at 574-842-5000. We appreciate their support toward helping continue this wonderful tradition. Hard to believe we're in week 2 already. Of course, we had our Saturday Sports Line on location this past Saturday at Chesapeake Run Golf Club. What a great show that was. Very excited, though, to get all of our coaches back into the studio at KVB headquarters, going live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central, where we will talk to all 6 of our area high school football head coaches. That's Mark Hall of the West Central Trojans, Josh Burgess of the Winamac Warriors, Austin Faust of the Culver Cavaliers, Russ Radke of the Knox Redskins, also Brett Lambert of the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays, and Buzz Show for the South Central Satellites. It took me a couple years to get that down, Coach, but we're working.
That was a bit of a mouthful there. I was with you all till it was South Central. Oh, yeah.
1st and 10. Deep pass play by McEwen, up to McEwen! Oh,
nice
through the hands.
job.
The McEwen to McEwen connection just couldn't quite happen there.
Second down.
And it'll bring up second down, under a minute to go.
Nathan Peter and Caleb Kovich were right there on him. You know, that without that pressure, that was a very catchable ball. But, hey, that was nice defense by those two young men, and that was a nice pass. Now we're under a minute left to go.
Just got word that the Winnemac Warriors matchup at Frontier has been delayed, a lightning delay there, but we are in action, and McEwen takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw. He finds number 7, Braylon Jackson, and he goes out of bounds right away to stop that clock. Only 3 seconds.
Yes.
Went off the clock right there on that play.
You know, that nice pass, quick one, get it dumped off, get out of bounds, get that clock stopped. 54 seconds left to go.
Cavs are trying to put more points on the board, knowing that the Trojans get the ball to start the third quarter.
Yes.
So they are going to use every second of these 54 left on the clock here in the first half. It's Jonas McEwen from shotgun and Ethan Binion to his right. He's got Tony Summers out to the right, trips to the left. Takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw, fires deep down the left field sideline, and it is incomplete.
Oh, wow.
Almost had it in the hands of Braylon Jackson, the freshman, and a couple of Trojans helped break that play up there.
That was a nice job on coverage right there. Caden Gutwine was right with him step for step. Hand in his face. If he didn't get his hand in his face, that ball was going to be caught.
45 seconds to go here in the first half. 4th and 6 for the Cavs. Ball on the Trojans 29, trying to make something happen before the first half ends here. Quick work being done here on the football field. Only past an hour and 20 minutes into this broadcast. From shotgun, McEwen takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw, fires to Caleb McEwen, his brother.
Jonas pass complete to Caleb.
Yes, it's complete, and he's knocked out of bounds, but the Trojans say it's not enough for the first down.
It wasn't enough for the first down.
They're going to spot the ball and look at it here.
Right around the 24-25, not enough yards for the first down.
And all of Trojan Nation is saying, no, this is our ball here, and it is. So the officials do point in the direction the Trojans wanted to see, so they will have the ball now with 40.1 seconds to go. You suppose they just kneel it here?
Oh, I would hope so. I think after the game last week at Winnemac, when they went to kneel down at the last of the game and fumbled the ball, and the Trojans were able to recover, I think they're going to make sure they get a good snap and he gets that knee on the ground this time.
You're seeing spitting rain happening here in Culver. No lightning, we play on as Huber from shotgun set to go. Sets Miller in motion, takes a snap, rolls out to his right. They're going to throw a play. And they have it's incomplete. Intended target was number 8 to Caden Gutwine, the sophomore. Stops the clock at 32.5 seconds. The Trojans are still playing.
Hey, they're looking to score. They don't want to go in down 2. They want to, try to at least be up by 4.
And get the ball back to start the third.
Wow.
What a wild time we have seen in this first half. Both teams have had the ball multiple times up to this point. 8-6, the Cavs lead, and from shotgun, 2nd and 10, Huber takes a snap, hands off to Villarreal, takes a hit, breaks it, still on his feet, crosses the 27 to the 30. And that's where he's brought down. The clock will continue to roll. It'll bring up 3rd down and maybe 5. And we'll see what the Trojans decide to do here and take us to halftime or not.
Looks like we're going to take it into the locker room here.
So that will be the end of the first half. 8-6 is the score. The Culver Cavaliers lead the West Central Trojans. We are set for a very good second half. Don't go anywhere, though. Myself, along with special guest sports analyst Kenny Nielsen, are going to break this first half down. The Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning halftime show is coming your way. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Howard's Marathon in Winnemac has a reputation built on getting things done right. With 30 years experience as an ASE Master Auto Technician, Dean Wentz is the right choice for the auto repairs or service. From auto computer diagnostic checks to new batteries and tires, they can take care of it all. Howard's Marathon is a proud supporter of area high school sports and wishes all teams a great season. Howard's Marathon, 121 South Monticello Street in Winnemac. Call 574-946-6894.
BP gasoline with Invigorate helps clean your engine and can give you more miles per tank. Continuous use may result in the following pleasant side effects: excessive smiling, feeling more relaxed, taking more drives just because, volunteering for carpool twice in a row, and bragging to your friends about how you use our best fuel ever. To find out if BP gasoline with Invigorate is right for you, stop by your local station to discover our best fuel ever. Versus minimum detergent gas, average restored 3 to 5 miles per tank, based on fleet testing and based on what you drive and how you drive.
High school sports brought to you by Zingo Express.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
When you grow up on the land, you have an appreciation for it. When you grow up and work on a family farm, on land that is shared by members of a family, all working together as a team, that appreciation grows even more. They know what it's like to work as a team to get the job done. At Lawrence Farms of Knox, Todd and Josh Lawrence and family support the local high school teams and wish them success all through the season.
Do you know what to do when you see a down power line? The answer is very simple. Stay far away. The folks at Kankakee Valley RAMC want you to know that down power lines can be very dangerous. Even if they come off the power pole, they still may be energized. Call 911 and wait for instructions from the fire department or power company. The folks at Kankakee Valley RAMC want to keep you safe.
It takes smart planning by a skilled expert to get you just the right heating, cooling, and energy-efficient system for your home. McGrath Refrigeration can install an affordable Armstrong air system that will cut your energy costs while enhancing your comfort. You'll see the difference in your first energy bill. McGrath Refrigeration, voted Stark County's favorite heating and air conditioning dealer, is your local Armstrong Air dealer. Call today, 574-772-3575. McGrath Refrigeration, where the temperature is always just right.
Welcome to the Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Halftime Show on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Here's Mitch Columbi.
8-6 the score here in the Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Halftime Show. I'm Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues here on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting as WKVI will always be there. I am accompanied by special guest sports analyst, West Central Zone, Kenny Nielsen. Well, Coach, quite a first half there. It flew by.
Very exciting. Yeah. You know, like I say, it was a knockdown, drag-out fight. The defenses on both sides, you know, once they got backed up against their own goal line, really picked it up. You know, a 2-point differential, 8-6. Wow, it's a close game. You know, West Central's going to have the ball starting the second half. Let's hope they can get a good drive put together. But Culver's defense I am very impressed with.
Well, and also the Trojans.
Yes.
You know, the Trojans defense has done a very good job. Both teams, I think, have maybe stepped up from where they were last week, even though the Cavs blew the Attica out. I think that this defense from the Cavs has shown up today, but I think the Trojans are kind of saying, hey, last week we let one get away from us. We want to come out and we want to play strong defense.
Oh, yes, and they have. You know, a lot of really good tackles, a lot of good hits on her. You know, it's just good to see it's been fought in the trenches here, you know, that they're doing a great job with that. I don't see anything changing in that second half. Maybe Culver's going to air it out just a little bit more. I don't know, but we'll see.
Well, we'll take this opportunity to catch up with our sideline reporter on location for the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays. He's in LaVille. The last score update we had, Judson was leading 8-0. Of course, this was a huge game. Head coach Brett Lambert had circled on his calendar. He told Chris and I this last week on the Saturday Sports Line, so let's check in with Chris. What's going on in LaVille, Chris?
Well, with 10:57 left in the second quarter, North Judson just puts another touchdown on the board. Cole Wilcox from 20 yards out this time. 2-point conversion was good. So North Judson now leads 16-0 over the LaVille Lancers with 10:57 left to go in the second quarter.
So it looks like our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, Cole Wilcox, is continuing his dominance on the field, Chris.
Well, it's been a three-headed monster so far. Actually a four-headed monster with Josiah McDaniel, Brock Benson. Grayson McDaniel's gotten into the action tonight. He's had a couple long runs. And then Cole Wilcox. So, again, a big four-headed monster in this rushing attack for North Judson.
How are the accommodations at LaVille? Are they taking care of you down there on the field?
Well, care of me pretty good. Will Hostrauser does a heck of a job here at LaVille. And it's always great to come to LaVille.
Man, I told him, I said, is it okay if he walks on the sideline? He said, absolutely. So that's so cool that you're down there on the field, Chris. We sure do appreciate you giving us up-to-date information on that game. It looks like the Blue Jays are hoping to get over the hump and beat LaVille today.
Yeah, to keep this up, could be a running clock on the second half.
All right, Chris, we'll catch up with you in a little bit. We appreciate you being there.
Thank you.
All right, that's Chris McGowan on location for the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays. They are beating LaVille right now 16-0, a huge game for them. And Coach Lambert, like I told us a few moments ago, this was a game that was circled on his calendar. And, he said this in the Saturday Sports Line last week. It's kind of hard to say that, knowing Knox was week one.
Yeah.
But he said with the way LaVille and them have played the last couple of years, they wanted this game, and good for the Blue Jays to get out early. Now, we get back to our game. Well, first, Winamac. The Winamac Warriors game, the last I have been told was their game has been pushed back due to lightning in the area. This is kind of something we had talked about in the pregame. We were wondering if even we would have some lightning delay, but luckily we're getting this game in. So far, so good.
Yeah, so far. I knew that there was a good chance, around 8 o'clock Eastern time that, the rain was going to come in, but, hey, it didn't materialize. We're not getting any lightning so far, knock on wood. Let's hope we can just get this game taken care of tonight.
Yeah, we've still got a second half to go, and all signs are pointing to a very good ending. We look in the press box. We see Mike Zahner, the former head coach of the Culver Cavaliers, here in the house. Of course, we had a chance to talk with him and Mark Hall before I got my KVB Coaches Corner interview. Him and Mark Hall went to college together and played football. They've known each other for a long time. It was neat to kind of be a part of that conversation. Old buddies back on the battlefield here, coaching against each other. Of course, Mark Hall down on the field and Mike Zahner up in the booth helping call plays here for the Cavs. But I just think that's so cool that the Trojans head coach Mark Hall and Mike Zahner played football together there at Manchester. Just an interesting story we've talked about multiple times, connecting the dots between West Central and Culver. And, Mark Hall had said it had been since 2013 since the Trojans have won here in Culver.
Yes.
That is, something that the Trojans have talked about this week in practice. They want to end that drought here tonight, and only down 2 points. It looks like, they could make it happen.
They got their, they have their work ahead of them to get to that point. I know Mark's in the locker room. Hey guys, we've got to clean up our penalties.
Yeah.
Culver's coach Austin, I'm sure he's telling them the same thing. Take care of that ball. Let's keep that ball. Let's not fumble the ball. Let's not get penalties. Let's clean up that part of the game, and we'll just ride it out to the end and see. This may come down to whoever has the last possession who's going to win this game.
Well, and this is kind of what we had happen last year in week 2. The Cavs took on the South Central Satellites. That's kind of a rivalry in their own. But when you get two teams here that are just, young somewhat and still learning the ways and it provides a really good atmosphere. Records go out the window when it's two teams
yes.
just scrapping and clawing. We've talked with West Central before. Their numbers are lower than I think what Mark Hall would want, and same for Culver. Austin Faust said he would love more numbers, but with the guys they've got, they're providing a fight for us. And, man, I'm glad you're here next to me, man. We're having a good time.
I'm having a blast being here. I know West Central's got a few guys on the sidelines for various reasons that we won't go into, but that's not helping. But the young guys are coming into the game. They're really picking it up, doing a great job. Seeing that he's getting a lot of kids moved in and out of there. On a night like tonight, been very lucky. One injury.
Yeah.
No cramps. I really had figured that, we would have a lot of stoppages just for kids cramping up. So kudos to those coaches this past week preaching to those guys to make sure they're hydrated and, have everything they need so that they can mitigate all these cramps tonight.
Well, it looks like we're in an interesting pocket here with the weather. The storms are kind of not anywhere near us, maybe south, north, east, and west of us, but we're in a really good pocket right now. 79 degrees. It's cooled down.
Yes.
We started the game at 90. Now the rain is slightly coming in, spitting rain, not much at all. 79 degrees, and feels a lot better up here in the booth, that's for sure. We've got a little stat update here from our good friend Paul Dunn. I appreciate him. Of course, he's working here tonight as well for Culver Cab TV. He said Tony Summers had 3 rushes for 9 yards. Jonas McEwen had 2 rushes. Ethan Binion had 6 for 25 yards. But Jonas McEwen right now in the air, 5 for 9 on attempts, 59 yards, and that one touchdown pass. Yes. David Height through the air has 2 catches for 47 yards and has that touchdown. Braylon Jackson has 2 receptions for 12 yards, and Caleb McEwen has 1 reception for 5 yards. That was the shuffle pass for the 2-point conversion. Shout out to Paul Dunn for sharing that information. Working together, I love it up here in the booth. As we do remind you, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning is helping continue this wonderful tradition on KVB's WKVI. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give third-generation owner Brian Hammond a call at 574-936-4660. They've been serving the local area since 1936.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort.
The key to high-yielding crops is accurate and dependable soil testing. This is Andy Awald of Farm Fertilizers and Seeds. Having the right information to make the most profitable fertility decisions is what Image Services from Farm Fertilizers and Seeds is all about. We combine cutting-edge technology and computerized record-keeping with a common-sense approach to soil sampling and fertilizer recommendations. Whether it be by management zone for field-level applications or grid-based for variable rate applications, count on Image Services by Farm Fertilizers and Seeds for your soil service needs this fall.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winamac is proud to be part of the broadcast this evening. Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack provides all your printing, screen printing, apparel, and embroidery needs. Call 574-946-3551 and ask for Tina if you want to look cool like the KVB crew. We appreciate them and their support toward helping continue the tradition. Second half on the way. This is the Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning halftime show. 8-6, the Cavs lead the Trojans of West Central.
This is Austin Faust, head coach of the Culver Cavaliers. Stay tuned for more Cavalier football on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting, WKVI.
This presentation of our area's local high school sports is sponsored by Pulaski Memorial Hospital in Winamac. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is dedicated to providing excellent health care to improve the health and quality of life for the people and the community they serve. They will meet the community's needs and exceed their expectations by creating the best possible health care experience. For more information of the services they provide, call 946-2100.
On the way home from the game, a deer jumps in front of your truck. And now you've got to get that truck repaired. Make it easy on yourself. Take it to Mark's Body Shop. Mark's has done expert auto body service since 1998 and will work with you and your insurance provider for collision repair, custom body paint, and insurance work. And all work guaranteed by owner Mark Shell. Mark's Body Shop, proud to support high school sports. 772-7003.
Back at Culver, Indiana, counting down as this is the end of the Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning halftime show. Mitch Calabi along with special guest Kenny Nielsen. We're so glad you've joined us here on the historic broadcasting station of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI since 1969. We have been your local leader and your voice to make sure everyone knows what is going on in this neck of the woods. So to start the third, the Trojans will have the ball first. You see the Cavs entering the field. The Trojans going through some stretches, kind of what we had talked about earlier, making sure that those cramps don't happen. Banana Dan, got to get the bananas out there.
Yes, sir. That's a great idea, get a good stretch. You know, you played a hard first half, and you went in, kind of sat down. You need to come back out, get things stretched back out because, you know, things will tighten up in a hurry when you just sit down, especially as warm as it was at the start. And like you said, thankfully, it has cooled down considerably here.
We mentioned Jonas McEwen having a heck of a night through the air, 5 of 9. He was 14 of 16 with 280 yards last week. Now he already has 59 yards in this game, a 1 touchdown to David Height, that 2-point conversion to his brother Caleb McEwen. You know, this offense is something that Austin Faust, head coach Austin Faust, has talked to us about the last couple of years. I think this is what he had kind of expected out of his Cavs last year. Of course, it was a different story last year. Things didn't go the way that the Cavs had hoped, but just seeing several good pass plays from the Cavs, several good runs from the Cavs, to see that from them, I'm very happy for in Austin Faust. And then to flip sides of the West Central Trojans, you know, the games we covered, the Trojans last year, they almost won both of those games that we covered and just gave it away at the last. I shouldn't say gave it away. They just fell short at the end. But to see the Trojans come back this year after losing what they lost, I mean, they're looking just as strong, and they look like they're every bit ready to take on the Cavs tonight. They want to end that drought where the last time we said they'd won here was 2013.
Boy, that's a long time ago.
Not really. It doesn't feel that long
ago.
Well,
when you get to be my age, 11 years isn't much.
No, it's not.
But to these young guys, well, you know, they're 15 to 18 years old. They weren't very old the last time that they were here.
No, they weren't.
If they were here watching, they were young. They didn't see much of that game.
They were probably playing, running around out there.
Wherever that ball is, on the other side of the bleachers, that's where they were at, yes.
I also wanted to mention the Cavalier Marching Band here tonight under the direction of Jason Crittenden. I always want to give a big shout-out to our area marching bands. They put up a lot of time and effort and energy. Big shout-out to band director Jason Crittenden. I wanted to give him a shout out. You know, that was something that I did in high school. I was also in the pep band. I didn't play football, but being a part of the game, the pep band is every bit as much a part of the game. And you see him out there practicing in the summertime as well. So just wanted to give the band a shout out here tonight. They're making sure Cavalier Nation is having a good time on this Friday night just off the shores of beautiful Lake Maxinkuckee. The rain is holding off. Gray skies, 79 degrees. We are hoping to get this game in full. We don't want to come back tomorrow morning. We want this game tonight.
Let's get her finished tonight.
So set to kick for the Cavs to start the third quarter. That's number 5, David Height. Deep to return is Jaden Miller for the Trojans, as well as Braylon Jackson, the freshman, who is getting a lot of time in varsity action, that's for sure.
That's Felipe Bazan back there, number 7 for the Trojans.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, thank you. Looked at the wrong roster. Thanks, Coach.
Oh, nice kick.
And it will go to Felipe, so he picks it up at the 15, crosses the 20, now to the 30, to the 35, and he's brought down by the Cavs.
Job.
Looks like that was number 20. Well, I missed the number. 26. Yeah. Caden Herrera, the senior, And the ball will be spotted on the Trojans' 36, 37-yard line range.
Nice 21-yard return. That was a nice play. He had a lot of room, but got caught up in the middle there.
So here we go, the Trojans' first possession of the third quarter. Our first possession of the third quarter. It's Addison Huber awaiting the call from head coach Mark Hall. He has it and relays the play to the rest of the Trojans. The flex bone. Huber takes the snap, hands off to Villarreal, up the middle, maybe 2 yards. The Cavs are doing a very good job of crashing.
They're loading the middle there. They're doing a great job of covering those gaps. Oh, we got an injured player down on the ground here for the Cavs.
So it looks like a Cav is on the field, another injured individual. We hope it's just a cramp. Earlier it was a Cav who I now see back out onto the field and doing fine. That was number 54 earlier, I believe, for the Cavaliers.
55 was earlier.
Or 55, Isaiah Vela.
Yes.
And now we see, I'm not sure, but head coach Austin Faust along with the trainer are checking the left leg. Looks like maybe the calf ankle area, being very ginger with it here.
Yeah, this one's not a cramp, that's for certain.
Score update from Knox, Indiana. At the end of the first quarter, the Knox Redskins lead the Pioneer Panthers 24-0. So off that tough loss last week to the Blue Jays, the Redskins come back with a little vengeance. 24 points in one quarter, Coach. That's quite a...
I jumped on Gridiron Digest just for a little bit, just to take a look, and somebody commented that they didn't want to be the team that Knox played this week because they were gonna come out with a vengeance. Russ doesn't take well to losing. I don't know that there's really any bad blood between Russ and his hometown school there. At least not that he says.
It's an interesting story for sure.
Oh, definitely. But, you don't want to be on that receiving end of them on a week like this after last week.
One of our other area teams in action tonight are the South Central Satellites. They're hosting Boone Grove. And I just have a score update. It looks like Boone Grove scored first, and they've scored a second time now, 13-0 over the Satellites there in Union Mills at the launch pad. Of course, we will be at the launch pad next week to see the Blue Jays take on the South Central Satellites. Both of those schools are in the 8. South Central is now in the Hoosier North Athletic Conference, a part of those teams in our area, as we see number 55. That is Isaiah Vela again for the Cavs.
Yes.
My gosh. And now he is being helped off the field to the near sideline. We sure hope he's okay. He's been banged up today, Coach.
He has, yep. He's pretty ginger on that left knee right now.
So we're going to be back in action. 2nd and 9, ball on their own 37-yard line. Addison Huber set to go for the Trojans. He's going to take the snap, toss out to Jaden Miller. Wrapped up in the backfield by a Cavalier. That is number 80. Caleb McEwen on the tackle.
Oh, he blew right through that tackle. He read that. He was back there. Boy, there was just nowhere to go with that one.
So they're going to lose yards there on that one. It'll bring up 3rd and 16. Ball on their own 30-yard line.
So, yeah, 7-yard loss. Wow.
So here we go. The flex bone. Addison Huber takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw, fires deep down the right sideline. Oh, and it almost was intercepted, but it's incomplete. His intended target, it looks like that was number 7, Felipe Bazan.
Felipe
Bazan.
A little bit of contact out there, but it was incidental contact, so no flag on that. That was great coverage by the Cavaliers back there.
And it brings up 4th down here. I assume you punt deep in your own territory.
Let's hope. Yeah, definitely not 4th down territory.
Hughes on to punt.
So set to punt is Hughes from the 30. Punt up, clean away, and it's David
Nice
Height
catch.
picking it up at the 38, crosses the 45 to the 50, now to the 47, knocked
Oh, nice
back
open
to the
field
50
tackle
by number 21.
Jaden Miller, wow.
Huge tackle.
Wow, that was a great open field tackle there. He's a basketball player. I tell you what, that looked like a wrestler getting a 2-point takedown. Actually, a 3-point takedown now.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. That was a nice double leg takedown. Tackle.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cavaliers. Ball spotted on the Trojans, 48. Right smack dab in front of us, Coach. So here we go. He will take it from shotgun, trips to the left. Summers out to the right. He throws to David Height in the flat. Now up the middle, crosses the 40. Now to the 35 to the 30. Now to the 25, and he's knocked out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Huge pass play from McEwen to David Height.
Oh, that was a good play there. 28, close to a 28-yard, 29-yard reception there. He's got some wheels underneath him. He gets a little room. He's pretty quick.
Yes, he does. And you talked about a basketball player a moment ago in the Trojans, David Height. He's the point guard of the basketball team here at Culver. So a smart, sharp individual, very quick with his feet. As now here it is, 1st and 10, ball on the Trojans, 22 with 10:20 to go in the third. McEwen from shotgun takes the snap, hands off up the middle. It's Ethan Binion, wrapped up by Trojans.
Not a lot of room there on that one.
If anything at all.
Yeah.
So this will bring up 2nd and 9, 1 yard gained. McEwen trots to the sideline to get the call from head coach Austin Faust, and he has it as he goes back to the huddle. One of the assistant coaches for the Culver Cavs I wanted to bring up was Marcellus Anderson. He's a D1 athlete, played for the University of Massachusetts. He's a graduate of Culver. So glad to see a Culver Cavalier back on the sidelines for the Cavs, and with a D1 pedigree, the kids look up to him.
Oh, that's great for the school, especially for any school, but let alone a small school like this.
Nothing going.
Nothing there.
As it was Binion up the right side. Tried to get around the edge, but couldn't get there. But, yeah, you see Coach Anderson, the assistant. He is just as much involved. You would almost assume he'd been an assistant coach for several years. He's the tallest guy you see out there. And, he's standing right up there with assistant coach Kling, head coach Faust. He is in it. So it'll bring up 3rd down here.
Third and a short 9.
We'll see what the Cavs have in store here. Ball on the Trojans 20. From shotgun, McEwen.
Back to pass.
Toss to the man in motion. It's number 7. That is Braylon Jackson, and he gets wrapped up. He tried to find space, but nope.
Nothing there on that one. Nice job on covering that for the Trojans.
So that'll bring up 4th down now for the Cavs. Maybe a yard, it looks like, gained. And I kind of feel like they're in 4th down territory here. I assume they go for it. We'll see.
Yeah. Hey, you're up by 2. You got some momentum going. You're definitely going to go for it.
So here we go from shotgun. 4th down. They're going for it. Takes a snap, rolls out to his right, looking to throw. Has his man.
Broken
and it's
up.
Broken up, incomplete. It'll be a turnover on downs. The Trojans defense held strong.
Wow. These two defenses, when they get down into the red zone, that 20-yard line, but they really pick it up. Felipe Bazan got in there and broke up that pass very well.
So the Trojans will take over on their own 20-yard line. And now we'll see the Cavs defense trot back out there. It's been a defensive affair tonight, 8-6 the score. Whew. This is going to be interesting here. And all because the Cavs got that 2-point conversion. That's why they're leading by 2 here.
Yes.
So Huber from shotgun. He's going to set Miller in motion, takes a snap, hands off to Villarreal. Up the middle, still on his feet. Now they're pushing him a little bit more before he's brought down at the 24-yard line.
That's a lot of work for a short yardage there. But, hey, he's going to knock off about 3 yards on that play. Keep chugging away, and then a little misdirection would maybe get Jaden Miller to the outside again.
3 yards on the carry. 2nd and 7 now, coming up on 7:30 to go in the third. My gosh, I forgot how much I love Eastern time. Takes the snap from shotgun and a flag flies. And kind of the running theme for the last couple of weeks has been the penalties. So they're going to push the Trojans back deeper into their own territory.
Second down play.
So it'll be second down here.
2nd and 12.
From the 18.
Well, if nothing else, they got a lot of room to work here.
I love the positivity. You're a glass half full kind of guy.
Oh, definitely.
So here we go. Addison Huber from shotgun. Sets his man in motion. That's Jaden Miller. Takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw, fires down the middle. His intended target. It's number 7, and he's got it. It's Felipe Bazan to the 35, to the 30, to the 25, to the 20. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Trojans! Felipe Bazan!
Woo! That was a nice play. Felipe got out there. Felipe's a very quick kid. Very nice pass from Addison. That was very nice. Like I said, we had plenty of room to work with here, and they used every bit of it.
Well, he's got the wheels. He created space at about the 45-40. Once he caught it there, he was gone.
Yes, sir.
So here are the Trojans. We'll see if they go for 2 here. They lead now 12-8 with 6:50 to go in the third.
They're going to go for 2. I can tell you that.
Trojans on for the 2-point conversion.
So Huber awaiting the call from head coach Mark Hall. If they get this, it'll be 14-8. Here we go. Huber takes the snap. Hands off up the middle of Villarreal.
Gonna get the push.
And they are awaiting. He gets it. He gets the 2-point conversion. 14-8. The Trojans make that count.
Yes, sir.
And now they're in the lead.
Well, Dre got the ball to the line, and the lineman pushed him over the line is how that worked right there. He got stood up, and then the lineman just got in behind him and got to push it and got him over to the line. That was a great play.
Score update from Knox. They score again, Coach. 31-0 over Pioneer with 9:45 left to go in the second quarter. The Redskins are trying to let everyone know last week was just a game, and now they are ready for the season. Good for the Knox Redskins. They're beating up on the Pioneer Panthers right now. We're still awaiting a score update from Winnemac. The last we heard is their game had gotten pushed back due to lightning and was scheduled to start near 8:30 just a couple of minutes ago. So we'll keep our eye on that game. Also, the South Central Satellites, they scored. They just scored, trailing Boone Grove 13-6 now. Good for the Satellites. They're putting up a fight. They beat Bowman Academy last week. And then we heard from Chris McGowan a little bit ago in LaVille as the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays. The last update we had, they were leading LaVille 16-0 off Cole Wilcox. Another big night for him. Man, our area teams are going to work right now, and we've got a good one here in Culver. The Trojans lead 14-8.
So how is South Central like being in the HNAC now?
So we talked with head coach Buzz Schoaf, and he said this is kind of something that the Satellites have been wanting to do the last few years. He said there's a lot of 1A schools in that conference in this area, and they're like kind of a nice little cluster, and they've been wanting to be part of the HNAC, and he said we were just kind of he just jokingly said we're waiting for them to let us in, and they finally let us in. But, you know, the departure of the Knox Redskins, it kind of opened things up for the Hoosier North Athletic Conference, and I think the Satellites getting in, while they are one of the smaller 1A schools in the area when it comes to a football team, I think that this is only going to be good for their future.
Oh, definitely.
As the Trojans will kick away to the Cavs, it's number 42 with a stiff arm. Nice job there, Ethan Binion. And he gets it back all the way to about the 34-33-yard line. So not a bad return, I should say, for Ethan Binion and the Cavs, and that's where they will start this possession.
They got him strung out. Looked like Marcus Davis and Nathan Kimberly got a nice job of getting him to the sideline and getting him pushed out.
So here comes Jonas McEwen, the junior. Hard to believe. I said that earlier. He's a junior already. First and 10, ball on their own 33-yard line, coming up on 6:30 to go here in the third. Cavs trying to answer here. Off the Trojan touchdown, big pass play. McEwen takes a snap, toss out the Binion, crosses the 40, now to the 45, to the 50. Still on his feet to the 45 on the other side of the field, and he's tackled at the 41 as he goes out of bounds. Huge play, Ethan Binion, and it's a first down for the Cavs.
Hey, wow, that was big. That boy's got a lot of speed, too. He got around that end, and it didn't take him long, and he was up to speed.
So, first and 10 for the Cavs. Ball on the Trojans' 44-yard line. From shotgun, it's Jonas McEwen. Sets a couple in motion.
Yep, 2 guys in motion there.
Too many guys in motion, and then the flags fly, and now we have an opportunity to catch up with our sideline reporter on location in LaVille. It is Chris McGowan. Chris, what's going on?
Well, at halftime, North Judson still has that 16-0 lead. I must have put the hex on old North Judson there with 10:57 left to go in the second quarter, because after that, the next couple of possessions, North Judson turned the ball over. But again, defensively right now, North Judson's playing a heck of a football game. Got a great game plan offensively. Just got to secure the ball. It's hot and humid. A lot of sweating going on, and that ball gets slick. So North Judson just got to do a better job of securing the football.
Penalties are an issue in our game, Chris. Have you had penalty issues in yours?
Yeah, North Judson's been called for a couple timely holding penalties, but other than that, it's been a pretty clean game. Just, again, the miscues offensively, turning the ball over, putting the ball on the ground. So, again, North Judson right now has been their own worst enemy.
Sounds like you're in for a good second half, Chris. We appreciate the halftime report. 16-0, the Jays lead. We'll talk soon.
I'll talk to you in a minute.
Chris McGowan on location for us in LaVille as he is keeping an eye on our North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays. As back in our game, they're still figuring out where the ball will be spotted. Perfect time to catch up with Chris. It looks like they're going to spot it back in Cab territory on the 49-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 15 here for them. And now here come all the officials to talk with head coach Austin Faust. I think he's a little he needs a little bit more understanding of what they're calling here.
Well, they placed the ball and then they stopped, and then they took it back a couple more yards. I think they lost track of where they started.
So yeah, he's getting the explanation from the head official. And I think they're just going to have to agree to disagree here.
Yeah.
So it looks like they will go with the intentional grounding instead. And now here is from shotgun, trips to the right. Tony Sommers out to the left. It's Jonas McEwen from shotgun, takes the snap, steps back, rolls out to his right, fires. It's Caleb McEwen, and it's caught at the 33, and he runs out of bounds.
Wow, big play for them.
Near the first down marker, too.
Yes, put that right over his shoulder. He's able to catch that and turn and run. That was a very nice pass.
So the McEwen to McEwen connection just gets better and better each time we see it. It'll be enough for a first down. So all that for naught. They do end up moving the chains, and they get the first down off the penalty. And now the Cavs are in Trojan territory on the 33-yard line. 1st and 10, 5:55 to go here in the third. McEwen in shotgun, Binion to his left. He sets his man in motion. It's a toss up to number 5. That is David Height, round the edge, up the left sideline, still on his feet, and he's finally brought down, and we've got several flags again.
There's going to be. It looks like it was a block in the back there, which is unfortunate. It seems like either team gets a good run, and then it's got to come back. And the worst of it is that block was kind of behind the ball. I didn't see who did it. They really didn't need to do that. But it's just one of those unfortunate things when you're coming, you can't. It's hard to stop.
And so at the same time.
Yep.
So they're going to march this ball back for the Cavs. it's kind of like you just said, Coach. This is kind of what's been happening to both teams. They'll have a good play, and then it's taken away off of a bad block. Score update from Knox. They score again, Coach. 38-6 in the second quarter. The Redskins putting their foot down, we hope, to catch up with Nathan Welter during their halftime. We chatted a little bit earlier. He said he might be able to give us a quick update at the halftime break, as he is the public address announcer there in Knox. We'll see what's going on there. We've also been talking with Chris McGowan as he's in LaVille for the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays. Still awaiting the first official report from the Winnemac Warriors as they're taking on Frontier. And then the South Central Satellites, it looks like they are playing very well tonight against a very good Boone Grove team at home. At the launch pad is back in our game, 14-8. The West Central Trojans lead the Culver Cavaliers, and the Cavs are knocking on the door. 1st and 14, ball on the Trojans 36. From shotgun, McEwen takes a snap, and he gets nowhere as he hands off up the middle, and they may have lost some yards here.
It looks like they're going to lose a couple on that one.
Several Trojans on the tackle. They did a good job of collapsing the middle.
Yes, they did.
Check that. Gain on the play.
That was hard to tell who made the tackle because there was 5 guys who came up off that pile.
A trove of Trojans.
Yes.
So here we go. Ball spotted on the 36-yard line in Trojan territory. 2nd and 14 coming your way on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Jonas McEwen from shotgun. And now a timeout will be called by head coach Austin Faust. He'll burn his first of 3. As tonight's game is brought to you in part by Todd and Josh Lawrence of Lawrence Farms. We thank Todd and Josh Lawrence for supporting local high school sports. LAP Waste is a woman-owned waste management company. Quick, reliable, next-day delivery, service for dumpsters and containers. Get rid of your waste as easily and efficiently as possible. Call LAP Waste at 574-540-4019 and waste less with LAP Waste. Keener Construction is proud to be a Knox Redskin alum. They are excited to witness the Redskins take the field each week this season. Call Chad Keen at Keener Construction today for all your construction needs at 574-806-1387. Hey, stop by Papa Farm Pizza after the game for fresh ingredients that separates their pizza from any others. That's Papa Farm Pizza, downtown Knox. Call them at 574-772-5888 to place your order now. Hey, they're trying to become the place to go after a ball game. Where I went to school, after the ball game, you went to the local pizzeria. Everybody was hanging out. The kids came to the game. What happened after COVID? Nobody wants to go out and do anything after the game. We got to get this thing back in gear. Head to Papa Farm Pizza.
Heck yes. I've not ate there yet. I need to. It sounds like a good place to go.
Our general manager, Lenny Dessauer, of course, that is his operation as well. And we love Lenny. We love everything he does for us here at WKVI. And, man, can he make a mean pizza. They're also getting some gyros going. Oh, you like a good gyro?
Well, everybody likes a good gyro. Oh, boy.
Back in action, David Height gets wrapped up in the backfield by number 55 of the West Central Trojans. That was Rudy Rodriguez. Loss on the play for the Cavs. They read that well.
Yes, they did. Jaden Miller, number 21, got hands on him, slowed him up, and Rudy was able to come along and finish him off there. We have an old saying, but I can't say that. It would be improper to put on the radio. It's something about a lawnmower and grass, but I cannot divulge that.
I'm having fun with you tonight, Coach. This is awesome. Ball spotted on the Trojans' 39-yard line. It's 3rd and long. 4 minutes to go here in the third. Time is flying. McEwen steps back, looks to throw, fires. Oh, and it almost was intercepted through the hands of Nathan Peter, the sophomore. He had it, but it just slipped through.
Oh, that was close. That was close. You know, maybe if he was a basketball guy, he probably could have caught that, but he is a wrestler, so we're going to give him a little slack. His hand-eye coordination is not that good, so.
We'll have to work on that, Coach.
I know. Maybe during practice we'll throw a few balls to him. So let him get his hands up and actually catch the ball next time.
A little calisthenics.
Yeah.
So here we go, 4th and long. The Cavs are going to go for it on the Trojans' 39-yard line, and why not? They trail 14-8. takes the snap, steps back to throw, fires deep down the middle. He's got his man. It's David Height for the catch at the 8-yard line. He had 2 Trojans on him and somehow was able to come up with the catch. David Height puts him within scoring range.
Wow, that was a beautiful pass. He had 2 defenders shoulder to shoulder with him. McEwen put it right over his shoulders, right into his hands. Wow, that was a great pass.
Beautiful placement. And you're not kidding. He had a defender on each shoulder. He was sandwiched, and the ball just fell right in the breadbasket. That is beautiful. So now 1st and goal for the Cavs. This is what they needed. Down 14-8. McEwen from shotgun. He's going to take the snap. Hands off up the middle to Ethan Binion, trying to get the touchdown.
Second effort.
And it is. Yes. Touchdown, Culver. Ethan Binion. 14-14 here in the 3rd.
That was a good run. He got stopped at the goal line, just sidestepped to his left, found a little room, and got his way into the end zone.
The fireworks are being lit here in Culver as they tie this thing up. Now, here's the thing. If they don't go for the extra point, they're probably going to have to go for the 2-point conversion. And like we talked, to smaller schools, it's hard to come by a kicker. You got to go for 2, and it looks like the Cavs are doing just that. So this is to take the lead as the ball game is tied at 14-all. McEwen from shotgun takes the snap, rolls out to his right, cuts up the middle, gets rid of it, and he's got his man. It's his brother, Caleb McEwen, for the 2-point conversion. 2 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, 2 for 2 on 2s there.
16-14, and the Cavs take the lead here in the 3rd. This is what they've been waiting on all game.
Yes. Nice job, I do like how the quarterback takes his time, lets these plays mature a little bit.
He's very patient.
He is. For a junior, you expect to see that out of like a senior playing that position, but to see that out of a junior, I can't imagine what it's going to be like for him next year.
Oh, man, he played with it just a little bit. He rolls out to his right. He allows the defense to collapse on him. He cuts up the middle, throws it perfect timing to his brother. And, you know them being brothers, they're on the same page.
Twins are fun to coach. I've been through several sets of twins
the
coaching.
Fritz brothers.
Yeah, the Fritz brothers, the Owens brothers many years ago. The Owens brothers were always fun because it was almost a fist fight every day between them. You just kind of let them go, but, there is something special about coaching twins. Like you say, they're on a different wavelength. They're on their own wavelength. They understand what's happening with each other. They just don't have to say everything,
Right. Well, a huge turnaround for the Cavs here. A lot has happened in this game, and the fact that they're now leading, that just tells you both teams are fighting tooth and nail here in this one. My goodness. Well, we do remind you, Zingo Express of Knox is a proud sponsor of tonight's action. Stop by Zingo Express in Knox and fuel up both you and your vehicle the Zingo Expressway. Kicked away to number 7. This is Felipe Bazan bringing it up, crosses the 22, and that might be where he stopped. Oh, now flags fly, getting a little chippy in there, Coach.
Yeah, there was a hold over here. I think the officials, the flag was stuck in his pants there. He couldn't get it out. He finally got it out of there. Might be offsetting penalties here.
Let's see here. They're having a conference center or about the 25-yard line. All of the officials are coming together. They're calling it a penalty on the Cavs. They're also calling holding on the Trojans. Yep. So those will offset, I assume.
Yes.
And now they're probably discussing on where the ball will be spotted.
So, yes, Cavaliers had a personal foul over there, and then there was a hold over here on the near sideline where we're at along the Culver bench. Well, like you said, the officials are knocking off the rust, too.
It's only week 2 for them.
Yes.
So I think they finally made the decision.
They go 15, and then they take it back 10.
Yep. I think that's exactly what – see, you know this game, Coach. So that's exactly what they're doing here. They're communicating to the West Central sideline now. And they will spot it at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Trojans will have it. And now head coach Austin Faust wants to have a chat as well. He's not real happy with the ball placement. I think he wants maybe some more understanding of what they're doing here.
Right. I think either way you slice it, it's 5 yards to the plus for the Trojans on this one.
He's getting the explanation from the head official.
Essentially, the Trojans are +5 from the spot of the first from the hold. So then that was a 10-yard penalty. Took the 15 and then went back 10 for ours. So it's just 5. So yes, hold happened at 25. We're +5, so we're at the 30-yard line of the Cavaliers. First down, 3:29 left to go in this third quarter. Wow, what a game!
Yeah, this is. So now we're ready to play, and coach is right at the 30 after both penalties are assessed. So here we go from shotgun now. Another flag.
Flag on the play. Penalty on West Central.
Wow, I wish I'd have kept track of the penalties tonight. Wow.
Ball marked at the Trojan 25, 1st and 15.
So now off that penalty, we're still scratching our heads trying to figure things out here, but it'll be 1st and 15, ball on the 25 now in Trojan territory. Takes the snap. He's going to keep himself
Addison
spinning
Huber
around.
Kept the ball.
To the 30, and then to the 35 before he's brought down.
Nice 10-yard run for Addison Huber there. He did a great job of selling that, keeping the ball. Dre Villarreal hid that, didn't take the ball. And then he got attacked by 2 to 3 Cavalier guys, and next thing you know, Addison's onto the outside with the ball with a nice 10-yard pickup.
Score update from Knox. They're running away with it 45-6. They score again in the second quarter. We'll catch up with Nathan Welter here shortly during the halftime break there to see how it's going. But back in our game,
big
hole. Dre Villarreal crosses the 50. And he's finally brought down, so a huge first down run there.
Oh, that was a big hole right there. Then he went to work on that one, and he really gutted that one out. That was a nice run, put it over into Cavalier territory.
Yeah, the ball will be on the left hash, closer to the near sideline here, now in Cavalier territory. The Trojans have 2:35 to go here in the third quarter. We'll see what they do. 1st and 10 for them. From shotgun, Huber takes a snap, keeps it himself, goes around the edge, and he's tackled at the 46.
Yeah, a couple of yards only on that one. Nice spot, nice play though.
Ball spotted.
So it'll bring up second down. Ball spotted at the 46 in Cavalier territory. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third. 16-14, the Culver Cavs lead the West Central Trojans. 2 of our area teams clash tonight here in Culver. We're so glad to be here. Any chance you get to come to Culver, it's so much fun. As Huber takes the snap, keeps it himself, and he gets wrapped up. I think there must have been some miscommunication there on the handoff.
He turned to hand the ball off, and the running back was on his opposite side. Yeah, definitely a little miscommunication there. Loss of 1. Yeah, loss of 1 on that. 3rd and 9 here.
Clock continues to roll. Under a minute 20 to go in the third.
Ball at the Cavalier.
Huber looks to the sideline, gets the play call from head coach Mark Call. Everyone on the Trojans team has a play call sheet on their wrist. And that's how they make the call, as it's a
Jaden Miller
handoff.
off the right-hand
Miller
side.
up the right-hand side, crosses the 40 to the 35 to the 30, now to the 25 to the 20, to the 15, and he's knocked out of bounds. And a flag on the play, Coach.
Yes. Bad placement there, but we're going to come back for a hold. Just know where that's at. It's either a hold or blocking the back when it gets out that far.
And there's been a lot of that tonight. Off big plays. We've said it over and over again. Off a big play, there always seems to be that holding call on for both teams.
For both teams, yeah. This isn't just on one side. You're correct. Yeah,
they're being very, very efficient. I mean, they're at least being they're making the call even on both sides.
The officials are doing a great job tonight. There's nothing glaring that they've missed tonight that I've seen. Like you said, they're knocking the rust off,
Yeah.
But like we talked about a little earlier, they're stopping and they're making sure they're getting the calls right. But that hold was just really hurt right there.
Yeah, this pushes them back into their own territory. This will be third and eternity here. Ball spotted on their own 44-yard line. Just when you think something's going to happen good for one of these teams' offenses, it's taken back by a costly penalty. So here we go, the flex bone. Addison Huber from shotgun. Sets his man in motion, takes a snap, hands off to Dre Villarreal. Up the middle, crosses the 47, and that's where he's tackled. A few yards gained.
Probably gain of 5, but when you got 19 to go, five's great. Third, you're coming up fourth and 15, 14 here.
And there will be 16 seconds to go here in the third. I assume they'll let this one roll out here, the last 10 seconds.
Yes.
But we will be standing by to go to the fourth quarter already from Culver, Indiana. The score is 16-14. The West Central Trojans trail the Culver Cavaliers here in Culver. We're going to take a break and come back. Fourth quarter action coming your way. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for day and night. That's why we build financial solutions around the needs and schedules of our ag clients. I'm Isaac Blue, ag banker at Knox, North Judson, and Culver. If you're looking for a financial partner that has over 135 years experience in understanding and supporting agriculture, I'd like to hear from you. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
This is Mark Hall, head coach of the West Central Trojans. Stay tuned for more Trojan football on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting, WKVI.
It takes smart planning by a skilled expert to get you just the right heating, cooling, and energy-efficient system for your home. McGrath Refrigeration can install an affordable Armstrong air system that will cut your energy costs while enhancing your comfort. You'll see the difference in your first energy bill. McGrath Refrigeration, voted Stark County's favorite heating and air conditioning dealer, is your local Armstrong Air dealer. Call today, 574-772-3575. McGrath Refrigeration, where the temperature is always just right.
Back in Culver, Mitch Columbia along with special guest sports analyst Kenny Nielsen. We go to the fourth quarter. 16-14 here as the Cavs are returning this from the punt from the Trojans. They get it to about the 22-yard line, and that's where the Cavs will take over here to start the fourth quarter. We start with a punt from the Trojans, and they pin the Cavs deep in their own territory.
Trojans just about had a block on that. Sophomore Ezra Rodriguez did a great job of catching him. A nice open field tackle as he was cutting back. That was a great tackle. But, man, that was close. I didn't even see who it was that almost got the block, but that was a big play.
Well, we have an interesting update here. The game for Winamac at Frontier has been postponed to tomorrow at 7 p.m. pending getting an official crew. So the Warriors will not play tonight. Unfortunate for them, but we'll talk with head coach Josh Burgess in the morning to break down what they will prepare for tomorrow night. And now here flags fly.
There's going to be a personal foul right here against the Cavaliers.
It is getting chippy between these two teams. We talked about the connection between Mark Hall and Mike Zahner here at Culver. Both teams knew about that. They talked about it in the practices. that I attended this week. They also talked about not winning here, the Trojans did, since 2013, so you know it's a little chippy out there.
Oh, it's going to be a heated game the entire game. I actually got to know Mike Zehner years ago. He was coaching middle school wrestling at Rochester. So I've known Mike for quite some time.
Yeah, he loves Culver now that he's here. Of course, he was a Cav. He graduated from Culver and coached football for several years here. And then Austin Faust took over. This is his second year already as the head coach of the Culver Cavs. So now deep in their own territory, and we have more whistles.
Officials timeout.
So they're going to have a conference here. The ball is spotted on their own 11-yard line. It's
second down.
2nd and 9.
Dead ball foul, so yeah, it's, 2nd and 24, what it looks.
So takes the snap, hands off. It looks like that's number 7, Braylon Jackson up the right side. He's going to get several yards before he's tackled at about the 23-yard line range.
Yep.
Ball will be marked at the Cavalier 20-yard line.
So it will be spotted on the Cavs 20. It'll bring up 3rd down here.
3rd and 12, long 11, 13. Wow.
So it wasn't 2nd and 9. It was 2nd and long.
2nd and long. Yeah, it wasn't 2nd.
Now it's 3rd and 13. My apologies for the listeners at home. But back in action, the Cavs have it on their own 20. They need these 13 here. McEwen from shotgun takes the snap, fakes the handoff.
Oh, nice job.
No, he does hand off. And it was to Ethan Binion, and it gets nowhere.
Loss on the play.
So this will bring up 4th down deep in their own territory. They're going to have to punt here.
Yes. Jaden Miller did a great job of reading that. Got through the line, got a nice tackle for loss.
Binion
Probably about a 3 or 4 yard loss on that tackle. That was a great read for him.
Faison back deep for the Trojans.
So we'll see how the punt goes. The last punt the Cavs had, it didn't go quite as deep as they'd hoped.
Yes.
It went high up in the air. It just didn't go deep. So now we'll see as it looks like the snap, the hold. No, he's going to sneak it through to the 20, and he's tackled at the 23.
Wow.
So they tried to pull a fast one on the Trojans, and the Trojans read it well. They're going to take over deep in Cavalier territory.
Wow. You know, the Trojans had one guy back, and that was it. So they had 10 men up there. That's kind of a risky call there, but I don't get paid the big money to be a football coach. I get paid a little bit of money to be a wrestling coach. But, hey, you know.
My goodness, I think the Cavs were thinking, hey, we could catch them on their heels, get the ball back, and keep the momentum. But, man, this now is going to be interesting. Of course, the Cavalier defense has been strong tonight. They've been able to cause problems for the Trojans on offense. But here we go on the 20 in Cavalier territory. Huber takes a snap, hands up to Villarreal, up the middle.
3 or 4 on that. That's a nice play there.
So not a bad play call there. The clock continues to roll. 9:38 to go here in the ball game. The Trojans lead by 2, and they're hoping to add more to that here right now.
Yes. Well, the Cavaliers are up by 2.
I'm sorry. The Cavaliers are up by 2. The Trojans are hoping to take back the lead and make it even more.
Yes.
Thank you. That's why you're here.
Is that why I'm here?
To keep me in check, Coach.
I thought it's because I was good looking or something. That's terrible. Somebody's over here laughing at me because I said that. Oh.
Huber takes the snap. He breaks the tackle, gets through the hole, and he may have enough for the first down. We'll see.
Looks like he's in first down territory there.
And it is enough for a Trojan first and goal now.
Yes.
Tackle by Carrington.
Addison sold that one very well. The Cavs were tackling the guy without the ball. He kind of squeaked through their secondary. Thankfully, they caught him on that. Otherwise, he was gone.
So this will be first and goal here for the Trojans. They take the snap, hand up the middle. Not much there.
Nothing there on that play.
I believe it was Villarreal up the middle, but I'm not positive. I want to say it
Villarreal
was.
on the carry.
Yes.
No gain. Second down play.
So it'll bring up second and goal again.
Goal for the
We'll
Trojans.
replay this and see what happens.
Yes, play clock's running down short. They need to hurry up on here.
From shotgun, Huber takes a snap, rolls out to his left, keeps it himself up the middle, and he's wrapped up at still on his feet within the 5.
Huber on the carry.
Going to be a yard or 2 short, 3 yards short. That third and 3.
So it will be 3rd and 3.
And 3 for the Trojans.
So the Trojans are hoping to take the lead here with 7:30 to go in the ball game. They trail by 2. From the far left hash, it's Huber. From shotgun, a lot of men up front. Takes the snap, fumble, picks it up. Now he gets hit, still on his feet, dives forward, and he's going to get the touchdown. Addison Huber.
Wow.
The Trojans take the lead.
Wow.
20-16, a huge touchdown there. We've got a great game finishing here, folks.
Wow. Hey, caught the snap, caught it off the fingers, dropped the ball, picked it up, and still was able to get that touchdown. That was pretty gutsy there for Addison Huber. Now, let's see if we can get a 2-point.
It looks like, the Trojans are going to go for 2 here. It's 20-16. They lead by 4. This 2-point conversion would give them 6, a 6-point lead. So we'll see what the Trojans can do here. Huber takes the snap, hands off. It looks like it's Jaden Miller up the middle, and he's going to get the 2-point conversion.
Nice play.
22-16. The West Central Trojans lead the Culver Cavaliers here in Culver, Indiana. My goodness, what a game this is. The Cavs have got some work to do, but the Trojans came to play tonight, Coach.
Oh, that was great. A little backside trap right there. Came off of the backside there. Nice misdirection. I hate to say this, but I am really impressed with Addison Huber. He is doing a great job, for this being his first year as a quarterback, and selling where that ball is and where it isn't. He is doing an outstanding job tonight.
Well, another one of our area teams is playing very well tonight, and that is the Knox Redskins. Let's go ahead and bring in public address announcer for the Knox Redskins, Nathan Welter. I've got him on the line. Nate, tell us how the Redskins are doing tonight. Well, I'm so sorry. We unfortunately lost him. We'll try to get him back on the line. I had Nathan Welter. I wanted to get a quick Knox Redskin update. Unfortunately, we weren't able to make that happen. I'll see if I can get him back on the line here. But, man, the Cavs are really having they're going to have 7 minutes here to try to put something together.
And Binion.
All right, so, hey, Trojans looking to kick off here. Hoping to, get a good kick here, pinning the Cavaliers back deep. Guys going to have to stay in their lanes, play their positions, know where they're going to be. It's going to be a short kick to the 30. Not much room there. Oh, he's getting free a little bit. Binion
on the return, forced out at the Cavalier 38-yard line.
So the Cavs will have it there on their own 38-yard line.
Will have the ball, 1st and 10.
All right, we'll see what the Cavs are going to do. I think it's going to be the brothers on this drive again. They're doing a great job between the two. But, hey, we'll see. This is the time here where the Trojans have to shine. They have to step it up here, clean things up, do a good job, play their positions.
So here we go. The Cavs from shotgun. McEwen will take it, steps back. Here comes a Trojan, wraps him up. He throws it, gets rid of it, and he throws it away.
Well, Landon Hughes was close to getting a sack on that. He was one step away from getting a sack on that. Him and Blake Andrews were right there together.
So this will be an interesting play here, but now we have on the line Nathan Welter, the public address announcer for the Knox Redskins. How are the Knox Redskins doing, Nate?
Oh, Mitch, the Redskins came ready to play tonight. We're here at halftime. The Redskin Brigade just took the field, and the Redskin football team is up 51-6. Oh. And I'll tell you this, it's not that close. It has been the Redskins offense from start to finish. Of course, Miles McLaughlin has been the big headliner for the Redskins throughout the game. Jake Conroy's also had his say in things as well. So the Redskins putting up some big numbers offensively here tonight.
I said earlier, Nathan, it looks like the Redskins are letting everyone know last week was just a small minor bump on the road, and they're letting everyone know tonight they are the real deal. Would you say that's correct?
Absolutely. And, week one is always kind of a question mark for everyone. So, you don't put a whole lot of stock in one way or the other, how teams do, whether it's good or bad. You wait and really see until midway through the season. You find out what teams truly are. But I think tonight is more indicative of what this Redskins team is going to be as opposed to last week over at North Judson.
Well, we got a good one over here, Nate, 22-16. The Trojans lead with 6 minutes to go in the fourth already. I love Eastern Time Zone, Nathan. You enjoy the rest of your game over there in Knox. Looks like it's going to be a big-time W for you guys.
Absolutely. Appreciate you talking with me, Mitch.
Hey, enjoy announcing the rest of the game. Get everybody pumped up.
Will do.
All right, that is Nathan Welter on location for the Knox Redskins. He is the public address announcer. We appreciate his time giving us an update on the Knox Redskins. In that time frame, though, a lot has happened in our game. The Cavs are now in the Trojans' territory. They're inside of the field. Almost a fumble situation. It goes out of bounds, but it spots it at the Trojans' 44. And from shotgun, it's Jonas McEwen taking the snap. Toss out to Ethan Binion. Flags fly. He's wrapped up into the backfield and will be pushed back to about the 46-yard line in Cavalier territory. Did you see the penalty there?
I'm hoping it wasn't a face mask. I don't think.
Penalty on the play.
Holding. That. Oh, shoot. But, hey, the Cavs got a couple quick little slant passes to get a first down into the Trojan territory. Trojans read that little sweep out, come out very well. Holding play, two good plays, and then you kind of go and shoot yourself in the foot after that. I wish I could say that they were just on one side of the ball, but it is on both sides tonight. But 6 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Yep, a lot of time left to go.
So the Cavs regrouping. It looks like head coach Mark Hall wants an explanation from the officials, and he gets it now from the far side of the field.
Well, I figured even, Faust has had plenty of those. I guess Mark decided, hey, I'm going to slow this up just for a minute, and I'm going to get over there and get a little clarity on that call myself.
So they're still chatting, trying to figure out.
10 yards from the spot of the foul here. Oh, that's a long ways back.
That is a long ways back. My goodness.
My fuzzy math can't even figure that one out.
They're going to spot this on the Cavs' 35. So it will be
45, 15. First and 30?
First in eternity.
Exactly. More than one and less than a million.
So here we go. The Cavs are set to go. They trail 22-16 here in Culver. Second down. Spread formation. McEwen takes the snap, rolls out to his right, looking to throw, fires. Intercepted by the Trojans at the 35. It's number 7. That is Felipe Bazan, and he will be tackled at the 33.
Ooh, he read that well.
At the 30-yard line by Tony
Oh, man. The Trojans haven't won here since 2013. They're trying to make that happen.
Well, that was a big play. Felipe read that well. He just stepped right in front of the ball and just took that away. McEwen was under a little bit of pressure. He just decided to dump it off a little quicker than he should have, and Felipe was there to take advantage of that.
So 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Trojan Nation listening right now, this is exactly what you want. 5:40 to go in the ball game. You're in Cavalier territory on the 32, and you're knocking on the door for more points.
5.5 minutes is an eternity to get through. You got to put one in here.
From shotgun, the flex bone. It's Addison Huber, takes the snap. Dre Villarreal up the middle, breaks the tackle to the 25 to the 20, down to the 15.
He's in.
Touchdown, Trojans! Dre Villarreal.
Wow, 32-yard carry. I think guys are getting tired out there. Was the biggest thing on that one. Dre had a big hole. Once he got past the linebackers, that was it. He was gone.
He broke the tackle, and that's all he needed. Long strides, and he made it happen. 28-16. It's now a 12-point ball game, and the Trojans will be going for 2 here. It would then make it a 14-point ball game, a two-possession game if they are able to get this 2-point conversion here. From shotgun, it's Addison Huber. Dre Villarreal behind him. Flags fly. They call the play dead.
Oh, my gracious.
You just never know what's going to happen. So we'll await the official call here as penalties fly. Or a penalty flies.
Yes.
For the 2-point conversion.
Well, we're still in 2-score territory here. We're still going to be up by 12, so they're going to have to score twice.
So they will line up here to go for 2. Addison Huber with Dre Villarreal behind him. Takes the snap, rolls out to his left, fires, batted out. Oh, and it's caught! It was batted out of the air by the Cavs. Then it was caught by the Trojans, but they're saying no, incomplete.
Oh, wow.
The play was dead, so it keeps the score 28-16. The Trojans lead the Cavs with 5:29 to go in the 4th. And now it looks like a Cavalier is on the field. Nope, he just was taking an extra breath. So that is the score, 28-16 with 5:29 to go in the ballgame. The Trojans lead. We have an opportunity to catch up with Chris McGowan in LaVille for the Blue Jays. Chris, what's happening?
Well, North Judson 24-0 briefly. Run that was set up by a 39-yard bomb to Brody Bridegroom. But then on the ensuing kickoff, LaVille fumbled it in the back of on the kickoff return and ended up making a crease and took the ensuing kickoff to the house and a 2-point conversion. So now with 3:27 left in the 3rd quarter, North Judson now leads 24-8, but North Judson is driving.
You've been keeping an eye on the Knox Redskin game, Chris. They are running away with it against Pioneer. We heard from Nathan Welter a few moments ago.
Yeah, I heard the last thing I saw was 51-6 at halftime.
They are doing quite well. I think they're showing everyone in the area. Last week was just a minor bump on the road. I think they're going to have a good season. Say you?
Oh, yeah. We knew they were going to have a good season. That just goes to show just how good North Judson can be.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we'll keep our ear out for you, Chris. Thanks for being there. We'll catch up with you in a bit.
Sounds good.
That's Chris McGowan on location for us at LaVille to see the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays. They're taking care of business. The Knox Redskins are taking care of business. The South Central Satellites, the last update I had was, I believe they were trailing the last I had here. Yeah, at halftime, Boone Grove leads South Central 16-6, but they're still in that game. We found out that the Winnemac Warriors game has been postponed to tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern on the road at Frontier, and it looks like the individual for the Cavs, Ethan Binion, that was injured, is up off the field, and he's jogging. Looks like he's doing just fine, but the Cavs have got some work to do now, Coach. Yes. 28-16, 5.5 minutes. This can't be easy.
Well, the big thing for the Cavs here is they need to score quick. To get a quick score on. That way they have a little time to let the Trojans get the ball back and then get them stopped to get back to get another score in. So they need, I think they're going to kind of pull out the stops when they come back out here to try to get down the field a little quicker. That was a drive that, the Cavs were doing great, and then that one penalty just put them back, and it just changed the complexion of that entire drive. You know, it's been both ways. It's just, as a coach on both sides, it has to be frustrating. You know, where you were, you were driving down, the Cavaliers they were driving down looking good. And then the next thing you know, well, you lose the ball. Trojans have scored. Now you've got 2 possessions. You've got 2 scores that you have to get.
One of the plays that I keep redoing in my head is going for it deep in their own territory. You know, the Cavs, you almost wonder if you punt that away. But then again, you know, the punt earlier wasn't a very deep punt.
Exactly.
So you kind of were just wondering what was going to happen there. But, man, that was detrimental, as here is a flub up the right side.
Boy.
The Cavs will pick it up at the 35 and take it to about the 38. And that is where they will take over with 5:26 to go here in the ball game. They trail 28-16. They are going to have to score here, like you just said, Coach. They've got to.
Yeah, they have to take care. You know, they got to make sure that they don't have penalties, clean things up, take care of that ball. You know, I expecting McEwen to air it out. You know, Trojan backfield is, you know, defensive backs are going to have to stay home, run their lanes, make sure that they're staying home, being where they need to be.
So here we go, 1st and 10, ball on their own 38-yard line for the Cavs of Culver.
5:26 to go. Wow.
They've got some work to do. They trail 28-16. McEwen from shotgun takes the snap, steps back, looks to throw, has his man in the hands of number 46, Tony Summers, and he dropped it.
Nice little quick pass out to the sideline. He was wide open. I think he decided he caught the ball before he caught the ball, looking to turn and run. You got to keep the eyes on that ball all the way into those hands. So 2nd and 10 on the 38. 5 seconds off the clock, essentially 5:23 left to go.
Cavs trying to make something happen here. Down by 12. Still enough time. From shotgun, he takes the snap,
middle.
hands off up the middle to Ethan Binion. He's tripped up by number 50 of the West Central Trojans.
Johnny Rao.
He liked that one.
Yeah, he's a tough boy.
Tackled by Rao.
Well, he went right for the legs, and that's exactly what they teach. Get him down on the ground, and then he got up on the ground and liked to let everyone know that was him. Does he wrestle?
He has been a wrestler. Last year he took off because we just had a log jam of seniors right in the middle. So he took the year off. He didn't show up to call out, but I'm still going to get a hold of him because I want him on the team. Yes.
You want that passion.
Yes.
Takes the snap, steps back, finds Summers out to the left side, near sideline. He gets to about the 49, 50-yard line is where they will spot it. It'll bring up first down. First down. They get the first down, and they will move the chains.
Hey, the Trojans are keeping the ball in front of them, letting them have that quick little slant pass, little dump pass there. You know, they're knocking out a few yards, and, they pick up a first down. You know, clock's running. We're down to 4.5 minutes. You know, Cavaliers got to pick up the pace here a little bit to pick up some more yardage to get a score. Otherwise, they're going to run themselves out on a long drive here. Another pass.
Oh, rolls out to his right. Here comes the Trojans. He gets rid of it in the hands of Braylon Jackson, and he misses it. He dropped it right at the 45 on the other side of the field. It'll bring up second down. The Trojans are not slowing down. They are coming after him now.
The defense is doing a great job. Like I said, on these passes, they're letting them catch it in front of them. They're just not letting them get behind them. You know, you can give up that 5-6 yards. That's okay. But just keep the ball in front of you. When the ball gets behind you, that's when trouble hits.
4 minutes and 18 seconds to go here in the ball game. Time is flying here in Culver from shotgun. McEwen takes a snap, steps back. Now he's got to move inside the pocket. He's wrapped up by 2, 3. Here comes 4 Trojans. And head coach Austin Faust didn't like the late hit. Trying to plead his case. McEwen gets up. He wants an explanation. He was wrapped up by 2 Trojans. 2 more came over and just bulldozed him over at the 50-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 10.
We're going to call that one on the Stripes. Stripes should have had that whistle blown just a little quicker in that situation right there.
Well, with the momentum, you know, like you talked earlier, it's hard to stop when you're halfway lunging.
Yep.
It just happens. And now here's a penalty, I assume.
Going to be a penalty on the sideline.
Yep, on head coach Austin Faust. He's just sticking up for his guys right now, just kind of just letting everyone know, hey, we don't like that call and we want to let the officials know about it. And the penalty flies, and he's standing up for Cavalier Nation, and Jonas McEwen, he comes over to shake his hand right now. A little bit of a respect there as the ball will be pushed back deeper into Cavalier territory at the 35. Not what you want, but in the moment, I understand where he's coming from.
Emotions get the best of you at times right there. I hate to say this, but as a coach, that's probably where you should have sat on your hands on that one. You're under 4 minutes left to go. You got 2 scores to get, and you put yourself back 15 more yards.
And here's the handoff up the middle to Binion. Yeah, deep in their own territory. It's just piling up now. Just frustration for the Cavs. It's upsetting. You kind of feel for them. Now, on the other side of the field, you got to feel good for the Trojans. It's been since 2013. They've won here in Culver. Both teams, week 1, the Trojans fell short against their historic cross-county rival, the Winamac Warriors. Last week, the Cavs were able to pick up a huge win over Attica. The Trojans are hoping to even out their season. The Cavs were hoping to go 2-0.
Well, the Trojans are right. Timeout, Cavaliers.
So the Cavs will burn their second of 3 here in the second half. But to finish your thought.
Well, the Trojans can't let up here on defense right now. They just have to stay focused right here.
Well, tonight's game is brought to you in part by Todd and Josh Lawrence of Lawrence Farms. We thank Todd and Josh Lawrence for supporting local high school sports. Zingo Express of Knox is a proud sponsor of tonight's action. Stop by Zingo Express in Knox and fuel up both you and your vehicle the Zingo Express way. Collins Insurance is part of the broadcast, taking care of all your insurance needs. Jim Collins told me to tell you, call him anytime at 574-772-6844. That's Collins Insurance, supporting local high school sports. Finally, tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by Nepco Crane and Equipment Services, specializing in mobile crane service. Call my good friend Joe Snep at 1-800-590-2272 for all your residential, commercial, and agricultural crane needs. Need a crane?
I try not to. I don't mind climbing. I do it all the time, but when it just comes to crane work, I don't want any part of that.
So back at action.
Binion on the punt.
Set the punt. Ethan Binion deep in their own territory. The Cavs take the snap, the hold, the punt, clean away. High arcing punt to the other side of the field. It bounces the 46, rolls all the way to the 39 and the 38.
Oh, nice
and that's
roll.
where Tony Summers will touch it, and the Trojans will take over with 2:55 to go in the ball game. They lead 28-16.
Well, on that punt, you could see that the Trojans put a couple more guys back, didn't put a big rush on, because the last thing they wanted to do was get a roughing in the punter at this point in the game. Let him get that ball off clean, take it from where you're at, and just continue on the game. We're under 3 minutes, 2:55 left to go.
Yeah.
Put a sustained drive, eat up the clock, walk out of here with a victory.
So here we go. 1st and 10, ball on the Trojans 38. They're hoping to use up the rest of this clock in the 4th and call it a win for the first time since 2013 here in Culver. Addison Huber, the flex bone. Dre Villarreal behind him. Takes the snap, keeps himself up the middle, crosses the 40 to the 45, and he's tackled by Caleb McEwen.
6-yard run right there. We just need a bunch more of those.
Ball marked at the 45-yard line.
Defense is getting a little wore down here. They've been on the field for quite some time here. Trojans are doing a good job controlling the time on the clock, controlling the ball. Man, I wish we had a time clock like this when I played football. That would have been so nice. I'll finish the story after the play.
Huber from shotgun takes the snap. He's going to keep himself up the right side, and there's Caleb McEwen again.
Yes.
Huber on the carry.
You're not lying about Caleb McEwen. He's got a nose for the ball.
He does.
But back to the story.
So many years ago when I was a junior, there was another guy and we ran the plays in. I played guard. And I'd walk over to the coach. He'd grab me by the face mask. He would yell what the play was, and I had to sprint in, tell them. We didn't have, the referee had a stopwatch. You never knew, so you sprinted in, told him the play, ran the play, jogged back over, stood there and waited for coach, grab you by the face mask again.
And then you knew when to go.
Yeah. And when he threw you just took off sprinting.
Because you didn't know how much time was
you
left.
You had no idea, yes.
Back in action, the Trojans have it. It's Villarreal up the middle, crosses the 50 to the 45.
Down.
They can't bring him down to the 40. Huge run by Trey Villarreal. And he's a wrestler, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he is. Yep. Yes, he is. So he had some injuries last year, kind of took off at the end. When he came back, him and I had a discussion. He wanted to go lift, and I'm like, I can be mean and not let you, but hey, we got our guys covered in here. Go lift. He's like, I'm going to be back next year, so he's a man of his word. He came caught up with assistant coach Nate Williams and told him, yep, I'm going to be there.
Trojans are lining up in victory formation as it is 1st and 10 off that huge run from Villarreal. They kneel it one of 2 times, I assume, here, as there's the first one.
Right. Cavaliers have 1 timeout left.
And the Trojans are going to end up beating the Cavs on their home field. 28-16 will be the final as we await the final play here. The Trojans lining up for victory formation. A week ago, they come up short against their cross-county rival. Fast forward a week, they take care of business. They're going to go 1-1 on the season to start the year. Good for them, good for head coach Mark Hall as they kneel the second play. It will be a big-time West Central Trojan win here in Culver for the first time since 2013.
Wow.
You got to feel good if you're the Trojans.
Hey, this is great. These kids work so hard for Mark Hall, to come in, after last week's letdown and then have a great game like they did tonight. Very proud of these young men. Culver, they did a great job also. Knew it was going to be a tough game from the get-go. And, hey, I am really glad I got to be here and witness this game.
Well, we're not done with you yet.
I know.
We got some work to do. We got to come up with a Stark County Co-op play of the game. We got to come up with an Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. Hey,
oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we got some work to do here, Coach. But don't go anywhere. The Collins Insurance postgame show is coming your way. 28-16 is the final as the West Central Trojans beat the Culver Cavaliers here in week 2. Don't go anywhere. Collins Insurance postgame show on the way. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Howard's Marathon in Winamac has a reputation built on getting things done right. With 30 years experience as an ASE Master Auto Technician, Dean Wentz is the right choice for the auto repairs or service. From auto computer diagnostic checks to new batteries and tires, they can take care of it all. Howard's Marathon is a proud supporter of area high school sports and wishes all teams a great season. Howard's Marathon, 121 South Monticello Street in Winamac. Call 574-946-6894.
The key to high-yielding crops is accurate and dependable soil testing. This is Andy Awald of Farm Fertilizers and Seeds. Having the right information to make the most profitable fertility decisions is what Image Services from Farm Fertilizers and Seeds is all about. We combine cutting-edge technology and computerized record-keeping with a common-sense approach to soil sampling and fertilizer recommendations. Whether it be by management zone for field-level applications or grid-based for variable rate applications, count on Image Services by Farm Fertilizers and Seeds for your soil service needs this fall.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Welcome to the Collins Insurance Agency's post-game show. Let's get back to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan.
28-16 is the final as the West Central Trojans beat the Culver Cavaliers in Culver for the first time since 2013. Big win for them. But the Cavs, man, they showed a lot of fight tonight. they have gained a lot of experience from last year. Of course, we saw the Cavs. They went through some growing pains last year, but, hey, they've got a good team too, and they put up a fight against these Trojans.
Hey, they did an excellent job. You know, the McEwen brothers are just so fun to watch. You know, and as I said earlier, I can't imagine what it's going to be like in another year with those two. Binion does a great job running the ball. You know, the two defenses, I tell you what, they were stubborn tonight. You know, there was a lot of plays played down from the 30-yard line and headed towards the goal line, and not a whole lot of scoring. Yeah. So, you know, a very good defensive game. But, you know, offenses, when they had their chances, took advantage of some things, you know, which I'm just glad to see. I'm glad to see the Trojan offense, you know, stretch their legs a little bit and open things up. And this was a very exciting game against the Cavaliers tonight, that's for certain.
Yeah, big win for the Trojans. We have been keeping our eye on all of our other area teams in action tonight. One in particular is our sideline reporter, Chris McGowan, on location in LaVille for the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays. Chris, what's the update?
Score now is still 24-8 in the fourth quarter with 9 minutes, 25 seconds left to go. LaVille's got the ball starting to get some momentum here offensively, so this game's not over yet.
Well, don't go anywhere. We've still got a lot of work to do on our end. We'll come up with a Stark County Co-op play of the game and a player of the game, but we will keep in touch with you to see if there's any more updates before we go off the air. Chris, appreciate you being there. Stand by.
Sounds good.
Chris McGowan on location for us in LaVille. Looks like a good game shaping up there for the Blue Jays. The Knox Redskins running away with their game in Knox against Pioneer. We heard from Nathan Welter during their halftime a little bit ago. The South Central Satellites, their game, last update I had was at the half. Boone Grove leads 16-6. And then the Winnemac Warriors, we mentioned this earlier, their game's been postponed to tomorrow on the road against Frontier. That will kick off at 7 p.m. Eastern. So we'll talk with head coach Josh Burgess, but not about a game. We're going to talk about what he's preparing for tomorrow night. So kind of interesting for our area schools. But in this one here tonight, Coach, just to button things up, in term, you kind of talked about the Cavs, but now let's talk about the Trojans. You know, what they went through last week, and then they fast forward 7 days later, they're able to get a W in the win column. Talk about their time right now and what they're going through and how happy I'm sure you are for them.
Oh, I'm very happy for them. You know, we're all in the same school. I coach so many of the kids and basically know all the kids. There's a couple kids out there that I don't know. But, you know, it's huge for them. A lot of work, you know, a big letdown last week. You know, they needed this game. 11-year drought here on the Cavalier field ends tonight. So next year, you know, when they come home, you know, the Cavaliers are going to have a chip on their shoulder.
They are. And they're going to remember this. And like you said, that junior class and the McEwens, you know, they have got something going on here in Culver. And they'll come back next year as seniors. Who knows what this matchup could provide. But all in all, a defensive effort really early on. 8-6 was the score there for the majority of the first half.
Right.
And it went kind of back and forth. We start off with the kickoff by the West Central Trojans. They end up getting it.
Yes.
Right at the start of the game. It deflected off of, I believe, a shin of a Cavalier. Right. The Trojans pick it up. They aren't able to score, though. The Cavs stop them.
Right.
Then they stop the Cavs. It was kind of a back-and-forth affair. A lot of penalties. You talked about how we had big plays by both teams be taken back by costly penalties. A lot of holding.
Yes.
Some issues with communication and the coaching staff along with the officials, I think. They were just both Mark Hall and head coach Austin Faust were talking with the officials throughout the night, trying to get an explanation. But like you said, everyone's knocking the rust off still here in week 2.
Oh, yes. You know, I was impressed with the Coach Faust. You know, I haven't really seen him. You know, he does a great job. You know, hats off to him on a great game. You know, couple things, you know, a penalty when they were driving down, you know, they got picked up a quick first down off a couple slant passes, and then they come way back, you know, with the penalty. You know, really impressed with these guys. They're a young team, as the Trojans are too. But, you know, the Trojans are going to be, you know, they get to relish in this. You know, they get to go over there to get all the pictures with everybody. You know, I like seeing those pictures on Facebook afterwards, but I like them much more when they win.
I guarantee it.
I'm not a fan of all those pictures when we lose. I came from a time, Coach Rob Evans, when we lost, There was nothing. You got on the bus, you shot up.
Didn't say a word.
You did not say a word. You got your butt back to the school, and you just get out of there. There was no fanfare about it when you lost.
Where'd you go to school?
West Central.
Oh, so you're a grad from West Central.
Yes, I am, yeah. I moved a quarter of a mile like 40-some years ago from one farmhouse to the next farmhouse. Yeah.
So you are a Trojan through and through.
I am, sir. Yep.
Wow. Well, we thank the Stark County Co-op, your local agricultural cooperative that offers an array of service and support, including grain, agronomy, seed, fuel, and LP Petroleum. Call 574-867-2411 to contact the Stark County Co-op. Osborne Advantage Real Estate is a proud sponsor of local high school sports and would love the opportunity to make you feel right at home in Stark County. Call them today at 574-896-2567. Sideline Automotive is a hometown proud auto care shop. Recently voted Stark County's best for tires and oil changes. Call Joe today at 574-249-5537. And finally, you can't go without saying today's broadcast is brought to you in part by 5 Star. We thank them for supporting local high school sports and remind you to shop local. That's 5 Star in the Knox Mall. Well, we have some stats here. Looks like total rushes in the first half for the Culver Cavaliers at 46 total rushes, 3 for 9 on the day. Just a really nice night passing as well. In the first half, we had mentioned Jonas McEwen was 5 for 9, did really well. And then in the second half, he had 9 for 15, went 9 for 15 in the second half for 135 yards. He ends the night with 194 yards through the air, Jonas McEwen, and that's off of 280 yards passing game last week. So Jonas McEwen, he's getting a pigskin in the air, Coach. Good for him. We appreciate Paul Dunn in giving me some of these stats, but several individuals got some touches tonight, David Height being one of them. Caleb McEwen had both of those 2-point conversions.
Yep,
McEwen
had the touchdown early, yes.
So just an interesting night for the Cavs. Even though they fell short, they showed a lot of heart. And, you know, like we said a few moments ago, definitely a better team this year than they were last year. They have gained a lot of experience. The Trojans just didn't come in here and take this game. They had to work hard for it. So yes, good for the Trojans in winning. But we've still got some work to do. We're going to take a break and come back for the Stark County Co-op play of the game. This is the Collins Insurance postgame show, and you are listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
On the way home from the game, a deer jumps in front of your truck. And now you've got to get that truck repaired. Make it easy on yourself. Take it to Mark's Body Shop. Mark's has done expert auto body service since 1998 and will work with you and your insurance provider for collision repair, custom body paint, and insurance work. And all work guaranteed by owner Mark Schell. Mark's Body Shop, proud to support high school sports. 772-7003.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort.
It's time for the Stark County Co-op play of the game. Let's return to the voices of WKVI Sports, Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowan.
Chris McGowan on location in LaVille for the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays tonight. In his slot is West Central Zone, Kenny Nielsen. Coach, What do you think our Stark County Co-op play of the game was?
Well, I definitely got to go with Felipe Bazan, that interception in the fourth quarter. It's kind of sealed the deal on that game, and played hard. And, that was just, he read that so well. He just picked it off. That definitely, in my mind, definitely has to be the play of the game.
Well, and we were also thinking when it happened, too, that huge touchdown pass play. Over 50 yards. It was over a 50-yard pass play deep down the right field sideline. Bazan has it, and he takes it to the house.
Yes.
That could easily have been
the
play of the game. But you're right. That interception sealed the deal for the Cavs, and it made sure it solidified that the Trojans got that big win they needed tonight. So good job to Felipe Bazan.
Yes.
What do you know a story about Felipe you could share with us? Anything?
Felipe's a good young man. He's been on again, off again wrestler. I'd like to get him back in the room. he shows up, and then it's not for me, and then he goes on his way. And I'm very flexible about that kind of thing.
You don't want to pressure.
Wrestling's such a tough sport that if you don't like it, you're going to be a pain in the in the rear in the room, and I don't need that. But Felipe's a very good kid, comes from a great family, and that interception just kind of took the wind out of the sails of the Cavaliers, and then to just set up to finish out the game with the W for the Trojans.
Well, congratulations to Felipe Bazan. 2 big plays. The most important one was that interception, and that is our Stark County Co-op play of the game. Stay tuned. Our Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game is on the way. You're listening to the Collins Insurance postgame show on KVB's WKVI.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care, closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care, closer to home.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Time to announce the Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. Mitch?
Thank you, Mr. John Thompson. It's time now for our Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. Given in memory of Ashley Derrickson, a 2008 graduate of North Judson Sanpierre High School who battled cancer throughout her high school career before losing that battle on December 12th of 2008. We'll tell you who's earned that honor after this word from 5-star.
5-star, the largest meat and grocery store in the area, focused on quality, value, and customer service. The 5 stars in the name of the store come from 5 family members of the original owners serving in World War II, each one represented by a blue star on a flag hanging in the front window of the family home. That's why even decades later, 5-star is known for its dedication to service. Now that dedication means savings for you. 5-star, one of the We Care stores, the area's largest meat and grocery store, focused on quality, value, and customer service. Located, you know where, in the Knox Mall.
Okay, it's time now for Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. Who do you think, Coach?
Wow, I definitely Addison Huber, senior Addison Huber. The young man showed great poise tonight. This is his first year as the starting quarterback. He does great things. He reads things well. Had a couple nice runs in there too. and a nice touchdown pass to Felipe also. So I definitely think Addison Huber is a great choice tonight for the player of the game.
Well, we talked about it in the Coca-Cola pregame show. Big shoes to fill when you step in for Connor Marlatt, who graduated last year. Addison Huber made it happen tonight and was very consistent for your Trojans.
Definitely, he's definitely maturing into this. Week 2, I didn't get to see the game. I listened to it. Like I said, I listened to the Winnemac Trojan game, and I watched the Knox and Judson game on my computer. But, just to listen to how he progressed from week 1 into week 2, I just can't wait to see what he does on down the line in this season.
Well, congratulations to Addison Huber on being named our Ashley Derrickson 5-star player of the game. We now have a new update from LaVille from our sideline reporter, Chris McGowan, who is seeing quite an atmosphere right now. Chris, what's going on?
North Judson just broke it open 32-8 with 5 minutes to go. Cole Wilcox for the 43-yard touchdown run. LaVille now has the ball facing a 3rd and 3 from their own 47 with 4:22 left. So North Judson's in the driver's seat. I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see this tomorrow, but I'm going to say that North Judson probably has more yards and penalties than LaVille has in total offense.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, gracious.
My goodness. Well, and Coach, Chris, I don't know if you heard this, but the Winnemac Warrior game at Frontier has been postponed to tomorrow night at 7 p.m. due to the weather.
Well, yeah, I know south of here it looks like it's been pretty nasty all night, but that doesn't surprise me.
Well, Chris, I sure do appreciate you being there for the Blue Jays tonight. It looks like they're going to come away with a big-time win. Keep sending me score updates. We'll get ready for this post on social media at the end to give everyone our scores from around the area, but we sure do appreciate you being there on location. I hope you enjoyed a good game.
It's been a very good game, and with 3:50 left to go in the 4th, North Judson 32, LaVille 8.
All right, Chris, we'll see you in the morning.
I'll see you in the morning.
All right, that is Chris McGowan live and on location for the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays at 32-8.
32-8, yeah.
And that is a huge game for the Blue Jays because that was circled on the calendar. Head coach Brett Lambert had mentioned it last week. They hadn't been able to beat LaVille. I don't know when I haven't checked the books, but they didn't beat. It was so close last year. We were there for that game, and then our other station, Max 98.3, was there the year prior. Both games were so close where LaVille won. I feel good for the Blue Jays tonight. It looks like they're going to get over that hump and go 2-0 on the season. The last score update we had from the Knox Redskins matchup was, quite frankly, they're blowing away. 45-6 was the last update. I'm sure there will be more updates come through, but I think the Knox Redskins are going to run away with that win there. Last score update I had from South Central, we shared a little bit earlier. They were at halftime 16-6 down against Boone Grove at home. So interesting matchups for our area teams. A tough loss for the Culver Cavs here tonight. But all in all, a pretty good game, Coach.
It was a very good game. It was very enjoyable to watch, Excuse me. But, hey, in my mind from the get-go, this was going to be a tough game. There was Culver was not going to win this game 42-0.
Right.
Again, Trojans played, better. They still have a lot to clean up. Second half, they'd had less penalties, but they took care of the ball better.
Yep.
But it's a young team. They will get better as the season progresses. And, I'm just excited. That all the seniors that they lost last year.
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of people who thought that, there was going to be quite the downturn for the team. But to see these guys disciplined and playing hard and playing well, I'm just thrilled for those kids.
Good for the Trojans. KVB's WKVI Sports is back in action next Friday as we will be in Union Mills to see the South Central Satellites host the North Judson St. Pierre Blue Jays from the launch pad. We will be going live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central. That's right here on 99.3 FM and streaming throughout the world on WKVI.com. We also remind you to join us tomorrow morning on the Saturday Sports Line. That's the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, thanks to our very own Harold Welter. We always have several of our area head coaches on hand as we go live at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central on 99.3 FM and online at WKVI.com. If you ever miss the Saturday Sports Line, don't worry. We remind you of the Saturday Sports Line replay every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. We always invite those that listen to us the night before to join us tomorrow morning. We also play highlights from the game the night prior. So you will hear highlights from this game tomorrow morning on the Saturday Sports Line. We also invite you to follow us on social media. We are on Instagram at WKVI Sports, on X at KVB Sports, and on Facebook at Sports to the Max for all Kankakee Valley Broadcasting sports content. Final word from you tonight, Coach.
Hey, I really appreciate the chance to come here and call the game with you. You know, I like doing the radio. I've always have. So thank you so much for the
I appreciate
opportunity.
you being here too, Coach. It was a
Thank
lot
you.
of fun. Our final tonight from Culver, the West Central Trojans win 28-16. From all of us here at KVB, we thank you for listening to Indiana High School Football. For our sports analyst Chris McGowan on location at LaVille, special guest Kenny Nielsen, our in-game announcer John Thompson, I am Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues. We are Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Thank you for listening to Indiana High School Football on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Sponsored in part by Coca-Cola, Culver's Portside Marina, Nepco, Crane and Equipment Services, McGrath Refrigeration, Farm Fertilizers, Web Printing, and JT Shirt Shack, First Farmers Bank and Trust, Kankakee Valley REMC, Lawrence Farms, Mark's Body Shop in Knox, Zingo Express, Osborne Advantage Real Estate, Pulaski Memorial Hospital, Stark County Co-op, Keener Construction, The Auto Park with locations in LaPorte, Plymouth, and Bremen, Sideline Automotive, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Collins Insurance, LAP Waste, Howard's Marathon of Winnemac, and 5 Star. We'd like to thank our sponsors for their dedication in supporting local high school sports and helping continue the tradition on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Touchdown!